All right, what's poppin', boys? What's poppin'? What is poppin'? Shout out to the chat. Shout out Meat Rocket. Meat Rocket first in this bitch tonight. Shout out, homie. Good shit. Good shit. I see you climbing the ranks in the chat, being first. Shout out to Space Kid. Space Kid saying nah. So looks like homie doesn't believe that Islam was sleep when the UFC offered the Ilya fight. Well, I got a lot to say about it. I do got a lot to say about it, as you guys know. And I guess, maybe we kind of manifested it slightly because last night, I was all about the John Jones not getting paid $30 million situation. And I told you guys, the real thing we should be paying attention to, the real thing we should be questioning is why this fight didn't happen. This super fight between two active fighters in their primes, Islam versus Ilya. I told you guys that. And today we wake up to some new details about it. Previously, Ilya's manager has released some information on their side of the negotiations. And so we'll take a look back at that just to do some revisionist history. But Ali came out today and he had some things to say. And regardless, let me just spoil the lead, whatever you want to call it, bury the lead. I don't even know if that's how you use that word, but I think it's how you use it. Because I'm gonna spoil it all right now, but then I'm gonna explain it to you guys. But it's like, regardless of whether or not Islam's hand is injured, okay, regardless of that fact, he would have fought on UFC White House regardless, injury or no injury, per Ali Abdelaziz. But what's Daddy Dana saying? Daddy Dana saying, this fight didn't happen because of the hand injury. Has nothing to do with the fact that we didn't want to pay for this fight. It's because of the hand injury. It has nothing to do with the fact that Ilya asked for more money. It's because of the hand injury. Cope, cap, can't respect it, won't respect it. I don't respect it. Okay? So, this is the big storyline of the day. And before we fully get into this one, let me just kind of break down a couple other topics, which is the Movsar Evloev. Movsar, he apparently broke his nose before the fight. He was going through Ramadan visa issues. So, homie did step up to the plate and he still struck Lerone. Hats off to Movsar. So we'll talk about that too. I actually haven't really read the whole thing. I just kind of saw the cliff notes. So, you and I, you guys and I, the chat and I, we will take a look at that whole Movsar Evloev story together. And then, nothing crazy, but Colby Covington making an appearance on Ariel Helwani today. How about that, boys? That was kind of wild. Did Colby go do some like whatever that trip is, some DMT or something? Did he lick the toad? Colby's super humble now. But what up to everybody in the chat? Tony Sal says, "What's up, homie? What's poppin', Tony Sal?" Dana at the presser. Oh, Islam was asleep. I'd love to hear what Dana's got to say about this. I would love to hear it. Because I've been calling cap on this for ages. I've been calling cap on this ever since he said it, bro. And a lot of people don't want to believe it, but it's official. And let's go back to this story because I did want to say one other thing, which is that the whole narrative about John Jones, I got another point for you guys as to why he was never going to be on the White House card. Because the same reason we speak about Conor McGregor not being on that card. He's a guaranteed sell. He's already over. John Jones is already over on the fan base. I know Ilya's pretty much over too, right? But he kind of just arrived, right? On a scale of Conor and John Jones, Ilya, maybe in 2 more fights, he'll be fully over. But he's pretty much like halfway over or even 3/4 of the way there over, talking about Ilya. But I'm saying John Jones, why would they put John Jones on the White House card when they didn't want to put Conor on the White House card? Because, Conor's a guaranteed sell. John's a guaranteed sell as well. Why put him on the White House card? So that's just one other little tidbit to last night's stream, another point as to why John was really, never going to be on the White House card. Just one other point into the bank as to why he was never going to be on that card to begin with. Because everybody accepts that for Conor McGregor, but they don't want to accept that for John Jones apparently, or they're forgetting about it. So, with all that being said, run up the likes on the stream, boys. Run up the likes on the stream. What's poppin'? Space Kid says hi. What's up, Space Kid? Gravy says, I've been lurking. What's poppin', Gravy? What's poppin', Brian C? We got all members in here pretty much. Minus Space Kid and Dundaughter. We got to get them some membies. Gravy Show says, Netflix MMA card low-key looking fire, not gonna lie. A card for the old heads from the golden era. Honestly, yeah, we can speak about that too, but I'll just spoil it now as well. And then I'll explain it. But honestly, I looked at them side by side, and I think UFC White House card is worse than this Netflix MVP card. It's almost official, bro. It's almost official. I mean, should I pull it up now? Should we just talk about this real quick now? What's poppin' America first? Let's pull this up real quick now. And shout out to Cosmic MMA. Even though this dude, when I posted on my story that I wanted to fight on brand risk, this dude offered to fight me. It's like, well, shit, I kind of take that as an insult. You think you could beat me? You think you could beat me? But anyway, homie got his page deleted, so shit, go follow him if you want to. But just know, he wants to be my op, apparently. So, yo, Makhachev, that was out of nowhere. Yeah, Makhachev was out of nowhere. Makhachev was straight out of nowhere, but I like it, and in hindsight, we should have seen it coming, right? We should have seen it coming because the most high-profile guys on the regional scene is who they were going to be signing. I'm surprised they did this without no T. Woodley, without no Anderson Silva. I think that's pretty dope, I think that's pretty dope. But speaking of this card real quick, and then we'll get into the Islam story. Speaking of this card, so we got the main event, Topuria versus Gaethje. Here's why I think the MVP now is low-key kind of better than UFC White House. Because UFC White House is a lot of foregone conclusion, bro. And so let's break it down real quick. It's only a few fights. Topuria Gaethje, we all expect Topuria to win. Is this that clamor we get when we go into the fight? Are we going to be like, oh my gosh, who's going to win this? It's time, 50-50 fight. Who's going to win? It's not like that with Ilya and Gaethje. So it's a good fight. And yes, they're, more active and, more relevant than a Diaz and a Perry, than a Rousey and a Carano. But I don't know, the competitive nature in the fight, it just isn't there for me. And there's not that much stake. Yeah, you got the bells and whistles, title unification. I don't really give a fuck. I just don't really. Gaethje been knocked out, badly by Max Holloway, and he been finished by Charles Oliveira. So, what left? Gaethje has been finished by Charles, no? Because Gaethje says Charles hit him the hardest. So, yeah, he definitely been finished by Charles. And then it's like Ilya fucking killed both of them. Now he's gonna kill the guy that both of them killed. You kidding me? So, honestly, I got to give it to MVP on this one. Pereira versus Gane, that's probably the best fight on the card. It should probably be the main event. This one, we got anticipation. And I see Gravy saying Pereira versus John too. I know. But Pereira versus Gane isn't that big of a step down in my opinion. So, it's all good. There's a lot of parity here. Pereira coming up his second weight class now. Never really been a full-on MMA fighter, right? He comes from kickboxing. He came here chasing Izzy from kickboxing, their rivalry. Cyril Gane, a former heavyweight champion, and or at least interim, right? And he got some pretty polished striking. I do think Pereira's going to take the cake, but whatever, it's almost like we got to see it because Gane could make up for some of his lacking of technique in size, right? So we just want to see it play out. And this one is exciting. This is one where we're going to be like, oh my, oh me, oh my, what we got cooking in this one. So I like it. This is probably the best fight of the night right here. O'Malley versus Zahabi. I mean, O'Malley was in a snooze fest in his last one. Zahabi is a pretty high IQ fighter. I expect this to be a pretty boring fight. O'Malley's probably gonna have to fight super boring to get Zahabi to get the win over Zahabi, and vice versa. You know, Zahabi's gonna have to just like throw the excitement to the wind and just try to like maybe take down O'Malley, or maybe just try to like stall out the striking exchanges, because the less striking exchanges they're in, the better. And O'Malley's going to stall it out and try to get him to open up and swing from the outside and counter him, right? And yeah, if O'Malley rushes in, then that opens up Zahabi's game plan of probably getting a takedown or something, or clinching up, right? It's obviously the range from O'Malley and Zahabi trying to close the distance. So that's going to be pretty lame. And, you know, O'Malley versus Zahabi, let's not act like anybody ever is dying to see Zahabi return, ever. You know, no disrespect, but come on now. And by the way, guys, like the fucking stream. What the fuck? What the fuck? Like the stream right now. All right, like the stream right now. No funny business. Like, just like the stream right now. I'm not even gonna do a bit about it. It's just like, bro, are you kidding me? Run up the likes on the stream, boys. We want 25 every night. Usually we pop off the stream, we get like 10 off the back, you know, off rip. So like, you know, I'll forgive you guys this one time, but come on, boys, 25 likes on the evening. Let's run that up. Before I get into the Islam story, okay? That's going to be the best story of the night. But then we got Ruffy versus Chandler, and it's another like foregone conclusion, you know? This another foregone conclusion. So, no, I'm not really interested to see Ruffy versus Chandler. Like, it's cool. It's cool. But I'm going to sit there expecting Ruffy to win. And yeah, it might turn out to be kind of exciting because Chandler is decently exciting, but if it turns out to be exciting, but the ultimate result happens, which is Ruffy winning, which everybody expects, then, you know, it is what it is. Like, you know, how exciting really was it? I like to see competitive fights. It's not just about the theatrics they do in the octagon. Like, I'm tired of all of that. You know, I just want to see, I want to see the sport start evolving more, and I think it's not evolving at as fast of a rate as it should be, partially for that reason. You know, we don't need to dwindle down our expectations. Let's put the best versus the best. And you know, I don't want to reward like Ruffy versus Chandler just because Chandler like throws caution to the wind and doesn't care about the win bonus or his win, you know, yeah, his win purse, right? His win check. He just throws it out the window and puts on an exciting fight. Like, I don't care. I don't really care. Chandler's just one of these guys. He got to get up out of here, so whatever. But it, you know, for that reason, I'm not too excited. Nickel versus Dawkins. I'm pretty excited for this one. You know, it's a decent opponent for Bo, but let's just keep in mind that like Bo is a guy who's been training MMA for like 4 years. So like, you know, why would we be more excited to watch a Bo Nickel than a Lorenz Larkin per se, or a Bo Nickel versus or over like a Muhammad Makhachev? You know, Muhammad Makhachev, he a real MMA fighter. You know, he'd been doing this his whole life. He got a real amateur background. Bo Nickel, right? He just hasn't crossed over fully in the MMA space. And so this fight is cool, but I just wanted to say that like, you know, it's not like it's super high level competition. It's again, it's cool. It's cool. It's cool, but it's nothing like nothing crazy. I'll rank them in order too of what I think about the UFC White House card, which ones I think are the best fights. And then Lopez Garcia, I actually do think it's pretty good. It's a good step up for Garcia. We don't know what's going to necessarily happen here. And you know, so I'm interested to find out, essentially, you know, in so many words. I'm interested to find out what's going to happen since we don't really know. So let me like rank the fights by like how much I'd be interested in watching it by stake value. Pereira versus Gone, you know, I'm interested in seeing it. Then I'll probably just skip right to Lopez Garcia. You know, I'll probably skip right to Lopez Garcia. Like this one's, you know, okay, let's go like this. Pereira Gone to Poirier Gaethje. I won't disrespect the main event that badly, but I do think Pereira Gone is a more intriguing fight to watch, a more competitive fight. So let's go Pereira Gone to Poirier Gaethje. Then I'll go Lopez Garcia. Then I will honestly go Nickel versus Dawkins. You know, I'm almost gonna be like hate watching it to hope that Dawkins beats Nickel. Then I'll go O'Malley versus a hobby, and then I'll go Ruffy versus Chandler. So I mean, that's the state of the UFC White House card. And then this one we got Diaz versus Perry. And again, they might not be the best fighters in the world right now, but it's still a good one because, you know, Diaz and Perry, what's gonna happen? They've been doing their thing outside the promotion, but just what's going to happen? We don't exactly know. People are split on this one. The odds aren't, big on Mike Perry. They're not big on Nate Diaz. I think Perry is the favorite, though. America First says, it's my hairdo. It's killing the vibe. Damn. America First really don't like the new haircut. Insane work. So America First likes it a bit longer. I mean, that's fine. That's fine. We finna grow out the hair. It'll grow quickly back. We just got a haircut, I think yesterday, right? Or 2 days ago on Monday. But shout out to Gravy. Shout out to America First. From a senior American official, Congress has approved the start of the ground operation against Iran. Oh boy. Are we in for a repeat? Do you think we could win that? I guess we didn't win it the first time, right? Okay, so back to this though. Diaz Perry, I like it because we don't necessarily know what's going to happen. And we like Perry, we like Nate Diaz, and they're fighting each other. So it is a cool fight. It's a pretty cool fight. I'm cool with it. Rousey Carano, obviously we don't fuck with it, but Ngannou wins. It's alright. It's alright. We just watching for Ngannou. But Mokaev versus Moraes, Lorenz Larkin versus Jason Jackson. I do think this is great matchmaking. Like I told you guys last night too, putting Chris Avila on a Nate Diaz card in general is just good business. It's good money. Robelis Despaigne, he might just spark RDS. So it's, although it's a foregone conclusion, I think we might at least get a good knockout here. Right? So it's like, I don't know, this is almost on the level of Topuria Gaethje, right? The Despaigne versus Dos Santos. It's like foregone conclusion, and we know that Dos Santos getting set up to get knocked out. So honestly, I'm so split on it. Is White House better than the MVP card? Let's do a fucking poll. Let's do a poll, man. Because I was coming in here being like, nah, I think White House or MVP Netflix is better. But now I'm going back, like, is White House better? I just want to go off of a status of like, or a judgment of like, what am I going to be more excited for while the card's on? Like, what's going to get me more hyped? Like, if there's a hype meter, which card is going to peak my hype meter? Honestly, I'm kind of leaning towards White House is still better right now. I'm just going to tell you guys, be upfront about it. UFC, which card is better? UFC, WH, or MVP Netflix? This will be a great poll. UFC, White House, MVP Netflix. All right, run that up. Run that up, boys. Hair's tough. Yeah, Space Kid likes it. Honestly, I think I'm thugging with the new hair. Am I not? Are we not thugging with the new hair? We got a little mid-taper going on. I think we kind of thugging with the new hair. But then America First comes in here and tries to humble me. So shit, maybe I just got my dose of humble pie for the day. I see we got like 6 likes right off the back after I told you guys to run up the likes. So I'm just going to tell you guys one more time, run up the likes again. We want 25 on the evening. 25 likes on the evening at the very least. And I mean, I would like to have a bit of a longer stream this evening. We got a little bit of time to have a bit of a longer stream. But again, we're going to rely on the chat a little bit. If the chat ain't cooking, then we'll probably just dip early. It'll probably just be a sign that, the topics ain't hitting today. So we'll just see how it goes. But I'm open to be on here, boys. So, just letting you know. Let's set the mood straight, or let's start off, however the fuck you say it. I'm lost. Anyway, let's get into the big topic now. And there's a lot I want to say about this. I do have a few bookmarks, and there's 3 different stories, and it's so funny. And I'm one of the 3 stories out here. Okay, for now, I think we can go like this. 1 second. How's this? Is that a little bit better? Oh, and I didn't mean to just blow past UFC White House and MVP card. Shit, man, I'm gonna go UFC White House just on the simple merit of Pereira versus Gane. I really like that fight, and I think no fight could take the cake over that one. That'll be the one I'm most peaked and excited for. Nothing on the MVP Netflix card. The best one on that card would be Nate Diaz versus Mike Perry. And so I'm going to say that UFC White House is still better. And actually I didn't even check the percentage of the poll yet, if you guys want to just take my word for that. But I see the poll now, and it says 75%. I'll weigh in too. I'll weigh in on the poll and say White House better. Yeah. White House is better. So America versus, that's what she said when she saw you, Brandon. Quote, I like it longer. I got you, America First. I got you. No Diddy. That was a that's what she said, wasn't it? Oh, I gotta sneeze. White House has to be better. We got Zahabi on the card. Oh gosh. Not because of Zahabi, Meat Rocket, but because of Pereira versus Gane. You should get the Charles Johnson skullet just for shock value. Oh. Luckily, I don't think that'll ever happen to me. I'll have to take a hard pass on that Charles Johnson skullet. Okay, so shit, before we get into this topic, let me pull up one more cup of coffee. Can I do that? And then we're going to do a little story time, and then we're going to get into the topic. Give me 1 second. All right, so the story time is I just wanted to ask you guys, like, you guys there's this guy who's been popping up on my timeline lately, the streamer, and his name is Jim Skin. Has anyone seen Jim Skin? Should I pull up Jim Skin real quick? We're going to get to the Islam story, so don't trip. But I just wanted to say something funny because I'm making myself another coffee. And I just wanted to show you guys Jim Skin. Because he says something funny as fuck. He goes into these coffee shops during his live streams, and he's like, "Oh, you burnt my bean." This guy Jim Skin is nothing but good vibes, I'm telling you. Don't let this fool you. This is making him look like a tool. Dude is a super nice guy. Yeah, see? You have AIDS says Jim Skin's so wholesome. Yeah, Jim Skin is super wholesome, super positive. I fuck with this dude. He nothing but a good vibe. And he goes into every coffee shop and he's like, "Let's find out if they burnt my bean." And then he asks them to, he's like, "What temperature you got the machine set to?" And he knows like the temperature that burns the bean. And apparently it's like above like 96 or something like that. So if they say 97, he knows the bean finna get burnt. But this dude's funny as fuck. I just wanted to bring him up to you guys. Burnt my bean. He's like, "I ain't even burnt my bean." This guy's funny as fuck. So to be honest with you guys, I did burn my bean. I burnt the bean for sure. But that's why I'm showing you guys Jim Skin. Because he got this new phrase going around. Burnt my bean. Wait, let's see. I think he might have been talking about Celsius or something. What? Let's find out. What temperature you got to cook coffee at? Or not cook, but you feel me. What temp burns coffee? Okay, so coffee generally burns or over extracts when brewed with hot water hotter than 205 degrees Fahrenheit. See, or 96 Celsius. So he from the UK. See, I told you guys. I've been seeing his reels. I've been watching them too. But I told you, anywhere up to 96, the bean ain't been burnt. But anything above 96 Celsius or 205 Fahrenheit, the bean been burnt, boys. So actually, I don't even know if I burnt my bean because I took the temp in the coffee pot and it was at around like 180. So I don't think my bean did get burnt, as a matter of fact. Yeah, I don't think my bean did get burnt. Shout out to You Have AIDS, though. You Have AIDS. You be kicking it in the chat often, homie, just not saying much. Because I know you've been watching for a long time and you just popped out of nowhere the second I brought up Gym Skin. So low key, I feel like You Have AIDS been watching for a hot minute. Like, you watch every day or what? I just want to know. Sometimes I just want to know the level that you guys watch. If you could indulge me with that, I would like to know that. The answer to that question. What's popping to Andrew Nance? What's popping, homie? Dropping the hooded Dober emojis. The most popular one is hooded Dober emoji. Tony says Bo Nickel, the real main event. I'm a hate watch it, hoping he loses. I'm sorry, Bo. I'm sorry, but I'm just being honest. Story time, yes, story time. Sus homie from gym acting up again. Not really, but I was leaving the gym yesterday, maybe at around like 7:15, 7:30, and I crossed paths with him as he was walking in, and I didn't have it in me to like completely ignore him, so I just gave him the deuces and kept walking. But yeah, that dude's spinning his wheels. He trying to figure out like what time I be hitting the gym and shit. I swear he's spinning his wheels with that shit. It's like, bro, go on your own time. Don't fucking try to time it to come in with me. I stopped coming when you cruise to the gym because the problem is when I'm at the gym, you fucking try to time it to go in the sauna with me like a fucking fruitcake. You know? Like a fucking fruitcake. You try to time the gym time so that you could time the sauna. It's like, bro, go spin your wheels on someone else. Don't worry about me. I'm straight avoiding. You know, we ain't never gonna be, you know, in the same vicinity as long as I got something to say about it. Yeah, Dundaughter dropping the leg emoji. We all know what that means. We all fucking know what that means, bro. If you that's a sign that you a real one. If you know what that leg means, you a real street soldier. And if you don't know what that leg means, then shit, you probably need to start tuning in every night. You're probably, you know, that's probably why you don't know what the leg means. And I ain't finna say it. But the last thing I was gonna say, this is kind of like mean maybe, but it's also the truth, so I don't really give a fuck. I just wanted to tell you guys that this dude also wears the same thing to the gym every day. He's never once changed outfit. So I just want to know, like, I just want to know what you guys would make of that. Like, does that add to the zesty narrative? That I'm telling you, homie has never worn a different outfit to the gym. Like, you know, I wouldn't exaggerate to you. You know this by now. When I tell you homie wears the same outfit every single day, I'm telling you, homie wears the same outfit every single day. The same long. I don't want to explain it in case he be watching, but he knows. He fucking knows the truth. All right, I was gonna explain the whole outfit, but fuck it, no need, no need. But he wears the same outfit every day. I think that might work into my point of him being zesty. Gravy says, if you're on at night, I usually throw it up even if I'm not watching. Got you on the tab. My man, Gravy. I absolutely love that. And thank you for doing that. Thank you for doing that, Gravy. That helps out. I don't mind it if you guys turn it on and just fucking walk away and not even hear a word I say. If you running up the watch time for me off the strength, shit, nothing but appreciation. Like water pre-boiled to 212. No, 205. 205. 205 AJD. If you go above 205, homie, you're burning the bean. We don't want to burn the bean. All right, so up to 205 Fahrenheit, AJD, 96 Celsius, or else you burnt your bean. I swear, crowds of kids gather around Jim Skin to find out if the coffee shop burnt his bean. It's fucking hilarious. It's like the one bite everybody knows the rule. LOL, bro is gonna lock the sauna door next. Imagine if I just fucking pulled that shit shut. That'd be hilarious. You have AIDS says, I'm just always awake when you go live. It's super late Eastern right now, and UFC news is always popping. Okay, so you be tuning in, I'm assuming. Good shit. Oh, you have AIDS says, I found your account from the Buckley interviews, and your lives always come on through autoplay. All right, bet. No, I love to hear that stuff. Always cool to find out that some people discover me from like my interviews and shit. Some people discover me in the streams, then they get put onto the interviews. So I like it. It's kind of dope hearing about it. And then autoplay, that means that YouTube be recommending me. So shout out to YouTube. AJD saying something about my black shirt, but not exactly sure. Space Kid goes, who else watches while working? Watching while working is also a dub. Nah, Zesty Boy's gonna lock y'all in together. Fuck that. That's why I'm not ever going in the sauna with him again. Because he probably would do something like that. I wouldn't put it above him. Okay, let me go make my coffee and then we're gonna get into this whole story. Because I do have a lot to say about it. I've been delaying it. Just because. I just been delaying it just because. We ain't in a rush to really talk about it. I got all my arguments, all my talking points locked in. So we're gonna get into this now, right now. Watching while working is go to W Space Kid. W everybody who watches while working. Shout out to Jew. Let's go make my coffee before I burn the bean. Okay, so as you guys all know, I'm one take Vato. I spit it off the dome. No script, nothing written down. I just tell you guys the raw, honest truth off the top of the dome. Okay, no one really does it like me, and I gotta do it again. But here's all the points. And before I get into this topic, run up the likes on the stream one more time. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. We are live every day for a total of 90 consecutive. And we have blown past the first month. If yesterday wasn't 30 days, then today is. I ain't even keeping score yet because it don't matter. You feel me? We going for the 90. But just so you guys know, we on a massive streak right now, over 30 days or at least 30. And we going for 90. And today, we got to do it again. Yesterday was about John Jones and Ariel Helwani and not getting the 30 million, right? And Francis Ngannou reacting. Today, it's about the real topic, the real one we should be talking about, why we didn't get Ilya versus Islam at UFC White House. This is the topic we should be discussing. The reason why we didn't get it, according to Dana White, is because Islam had a hand injury. It has nothing to do with the fact that they didn't want to pay Ilya because he tried to negotiate off of their first offer, right? We all know by now, the UFC called Ilya's management. They said you can fight Justin or Islam. Ilya said Islam. The UFC said bet. This is the price. And Ilya said, no, we want to negotiate. We want more money. So what happened after that? The UFC came back and they said, no, we're not going to do it. And then they went ahead and said that Islam's hand is injured, so that's why we're not going to do it. It's not because of the what's the word? It's not because you guys tried to negotiate. It's because Islam's hand is injured. Okay? So understand that. And so now, Ali Abdelaziz comes out today and he claims the UFC rescinded an offer for Islam Makhachev to fight Ilia Topuria at UFC White House because Topuria asked for too much money. Here's the quote: "If this fight was offered in June and Islam even had one leg, he would have took the fight." All right? So it's very important. It's very important that we really start discerning the truth from fiction. All right? And Dana is a big time capper. And I've been telling you guys he's a big time capper. And now he's been exposed for the second day in a row. Yesterday, the video surfaced of Islam hitting the heavy bag. And today, Ali is talking about things, shedding some more light on the situation. Bro, I got like a anxiety in the back of my head because of all this pounding upstairs right now. Like, this fucking bitch is just it's just constant, bro. It's just constant. But like, we're just blowing past it. So it's like, just know that. Just know that. It's like, God, bro. It's like having a guilty conscience. You feel me? I'm trying to talk about this news, but then I got this fucking conscience in the back of my head that I'm trying to like ignore. But it's like, it's getting difficult while I'm telling this story. Like, no cap. No cap on my behalf. So allow me just to calm down. Let me take a sip of my coffee and get back into it. Okay. And before we get into it, I just want to say this. People are saying all these narratives. People are saying all these narratives that, like, Islam ducked Ilia. Yeah, it's like Tony Sal. It's actually super, super annoying. Like, if you could only, like, you're not hearing it right now. It's not as crazy as it normally is, but it's like this intentional, like, walking with the heels on the floor, if that makes sense to you. It's like a constant. So, I mean, I'm on my shit today. Keep fucking with me, bro. We finna be live till like 1 a.m. Like, play this game right now. Play this fucking game right now. Play this fucking game right now. Anyway, let's just continue with the story. Okay, so the other thing that I wanted to kind of bring forward is the fact that people are saying Ilia ducked Islam, right? And then they're also saying Islam ducked Ilia. And then the truth of the matter is that the UFC was too cheap to pay their champions. So there's three different, stories and narratives going around over here. I've seen MMA Guru on the narrative that Islam ducked Ilia. And isn't that funny? Because he got that beef with the Caucasus Mountains, the Russian fighters. And I don't know, I just don't really like it that these guys do that, man. Like, it's not about who's ducking who. This is the biggest bullshit ever. And it's like, you guys are taking a serious news topic and then, like, I don't know, bro. I get it's kind of just like making a joke out of it. Are we not interested in the truth? Do we just need to hear like these bullshit like opinions that mean absolutely nothing? Like, we're really supposed to just believe it if Guru says and makes a whole video and says like Islam ducked Ilia. And this is what the fans really like to like click on and watch, is like to hear why Islam ducked Ilia, why Ilia ducked Islam. Gene Silva's or Volkanovski's ducking Gene Silva. It's one of the weirdest things that goes on. But I think also like maybe MMA Joey's on that opposite end. It's just like the goofiest, weirdest shit, bro. And I say all that to say that neither of those are true. Nobody ducked anybody, bro. These guys would have been down to fight each other. It's the UFC that got in the way. Like, why are we playing this game right now? Like, Islam is really, like, there's a lot to it, because I know I've said in the past that Islam, he wants Ilia to put more miles on the tank. He doesn't want to take the fight yet. But honestly, bro, he'll take the fucking fight now. He'll take the fucking fight. And I mean, Ali just said it. So let's go ahead and get into this whole thing. I'll read you guys the main parts and then I'll play the video. But just so you guys know everything that gets said in here, that's not just the fact that Islam was asleep when offered the fight and then the UFC rescinded the offer. It's also the fact that now Islam already got a fight booked against a #1 contender. So let's read this real quick. Ali Abdelaziz claims negotiations for a super fight between Islam and Ilya at UFC White House never even got started for Makhachev because Topuria asked for too much money and likely didn't want to vacate his belt. Previously, Dana White claimed the fight didn't get done due to Makhachev recovering from a hand injury. Abdelaziz stated that Makhachev would have took the fight against Ilya in June, regardless of injury. Abdelaziz claims Makhachev's next fight is already a done deal and will be fighting the number one contender in July. Here's the quote. I got called about Ilya to fight Islam. It was middle of the day. Islam was sleeping. After that, I got called back and they said, never mind, the fight's not going to happen before I even talked to Islam. There's so many ways to turn down a fight. I can say I want to fight Francis Ngannou, give me 50 million. I don't blame anyone for trying to make the most money they can because I believe Ilya and Islam is the biggest fight the UFC can make. I think this fight should happen this year. But in a way, does Ilya really want it? Because if he wants it, two things going to happen. He have to vacate his lightweight title. I don't think he wanted to do that. And he wanted to be paid a lot of money. I can't knock him for asking for a lot of money, but also I can say certain numbers that'll turn the UFC off. After that, Islam got offered a different fight at welterweight, and Islam said, let's do this in July. He has some stuff going on, hand injury, and I can tell you this. If this fight was offered in June and Islam even had one leg, he would have took the fight. Islam already have a fight in the summer. He have a welterweight number one contender match. It's a done deal already, and UFC will announce it probably soon. So I just want to highlight the main thing once again for the third time. Okay, I can tell you this. If this fight was offered in June and Islam even had one leg, he would have took the fight. Okay, big cat from Dana. Big cat from Dana. Islam, hand injury or not, because I'm not with these narratives. Like, I could say, like I was just criticizing Guru for, like saying like, oh, Islam's ducking Ilya. So I could do this narrative and keep playing with it like, oh, Islam's hand's not really broken. But that's not the main thing. You know, that's not the main thing. The main crux of the argument is that Dana saying that this fight didn't happen due to an Islam hand injury is cap. Whether the injury is there or not, Islam would have taken that fight. Injured or not, the fight did not happen because Islam had a hand injury. The fight didn't happen because the UFC didn't want to pay, because they blew all the money on production, like I've been telling you guys, for Donald Trump's B-Day. Let's take a look at the clip. Sorry, let me unmute it. He said, I got called about Ilya to fight Islam. Just as I started it off, you know, with the quote I read out to you guys. So that's all he said. I got called about Ilya to fight Islam. Let's hear the rest.
It was middle of the day. Islam was sleeping. And I was excited about it. And after that, I got called back, said, never mind. It's fight's not going to happen. Before even I talk with Islam. And what I know is so many ways to turn down a fight. I can say, I'm going to fight Francis Ngannou, give me $50 million, right? You know, I don't blame anyone for trying to make the most money they can, because I believe Ilya and Islam is the biggest fight the UFC can make. I think this fight should happen this year. But in a way, does Ilya really want it? Because if he won it, two things can happen. He have to vacate his lightweight title. I don't think he wanted to do that. And I don't blame him too, because he just won it, right? But everybody else did. And he's nothing special. I got called about Ilya. Nothing special. He's just like anybody else. And he wants to be paid a lot of money. I can't knock him down for this lot of money. But also, is a lot, I can say certain kind of numbers to turn the UFC off. You know, is the UFC can pay? They can pay him this number? Of course, they have a lot of money. They can pay any numbers they want if they really want the fight. It's a big enough, important for them, right? But in reality, I didn't even get to Islam. And after that, Islam got offered a different fight at welterweight to be the main event. And Islam said, hey, let's do this in July. You know, he has some stuff going on. And, you know, Dana speak about it. He has some stuff going on, but I can tell you this. If this fight was offered in June, and Islam even have one, nothing special. He's just like anybody. He would have took the fight. But in a way, Islam already have a fight in the summer. He have a welterweight #1 contender match against someone. It's a done deal already, and AFC will announce it probably soon, you know. But it was if Islam would have took the fight, probably Ilya would not be on the card. And one of the things too, I think Ilya, if he didn't take the Justin fight, it might be got vacated, and Justin fought was Arman Sarukian too. It was a lot of conversation.
So that is another part of this that I just wanted to highlight that wasn't highlighted by me yet, is the concept of if Ilya tried to play hardball with the UFC and turned down the Gaethje fight because the UFC, didn't want to pay him, right? Because it was like, we said Islam, and then UFC said, okay, is this number good for you? Then they said, no, it's not. And then UFC came back and said, okay, fine, then fight Gaethje. If Ilya would have played hardball with that, right, and tried to hold out, they would have forced him to vacate or strip the belt, right? Because keep in mind, Ilya has been out for a little minute because of the divorce situation. That's why the interim title came about. And so if he wasn't going to step up and Justin was, they were probably going to upgrade Justin to undisputed status and strip Ilya. So Ilya was stuck in a bit of a hard place there when the UFC wanted to deny, the Islam fight due to them asking for more money. And so I just wanted to highlight that. But now Ali's going to go ahead and say something super out of pocket, and he's going to claim that I don't know, something like Justin's the big star in this whole thing and not Ilya, or he's going to say something about how Justin's the A side and not Ilya. And it's like, dude, what the fuck are you on? I know you're Justin's manager, but you're really going to try to get that by us? Let's just hear it. I almost forget what he said.
And it's happened in the middle of the night. And a lot of people put work into this, At my part, I was ready. My guys was ready to fight. It was good to go. Justin Gaethje, took me 5 minutes to make a deal for him. It didn't take hours. It didn't take all night. It didn't take this. It didn't take this. It was easy, And that's it. Justin Gaethje, he was in UFC 300. He went to UFC 300. Ilya was not. Justin Gaethje was on the UFC launch Paramount Network. Ilya was not. Justin Gaethje is the main event in the White House. The only reason Ilya is on the White House because Justin Gaethje is fighting, not because Ilya Tapure.
That's crazy. The only reason why Ilya's on the White House is because Justin's fighting, not because of Ilya. Bro, they were gonna give Ilya the fight against Islam. What the fuck are you on? Justin was the backup plan. Like, they said, Ilya, you want to fight Justin or Islam, right? You fight Islam, vacate the belt, and then move up and fight Islam, right? But then also they got hung up on negotiations. But I mean, how could you ever say that like the world was essentially Ilya's oyster if he wasn't going to negotiate? But that's such a fucking ass backwards way of doing business. The world's your oyster if you don't negotiate. We'll give you the biggest opportunity possible, but we won't compensate you properly for it. Like, bro, okay, well then this opportunity not going to come to fruition, bro. But that is kind of crazy. It's a battle of the liars. Who do we believe? Honestly, it is the battle of the liars, and we don't believe any of them. Tyler Betts, you believe me, homie. Tyler Betts, motherfucker. You believe me, homie. You believe me, homie. That's who you believe. Me. I'm telling you. And I see you guys asking, or Me Rocket says, bro, this Ali dude is so cringe. I get it. I'm not really here to judge Ali. I'm just here to kind of get the details, His head is very oddly shaped, though, if I could just say that. There's a lot of stuff going on with his head. A lot of stuff going on. There's like an indent right here. There's like a little indent right here. And then there's this big little lump on top. It's like, Ali, I don't know what happened, homie. I don't know what the fuck happened. Maybe it's steroids. I gave him a massive jaw. I can't tell. But so no number was offered to Ali. Apparently not, and I don't know. We don't know. It's not a detail he's revealed. But I guess they wanted Islam to say yes first, and then they were going to say, is the dollar amount cool? and then they were going to probably negotiate. But, you know, keep in mind, Ali stays getting his fighters to take less money. So, in my opinion, to get the opportunities, you know, that's just my opinion. That's a guess. So don't take that as fact, but that's what I think. Let's just finish this real quick, but let me see more. Bro, Justin is clearly the A side. He beat Ferguson. Meat Rocket, too funny. Tyler Betts, LOL. Yeah, listen to me, homie. Trust me. Tyler Betts says, damn, no more walk 'em down emoji. No, I took it off. I thought it was kind of lame. Did you guys enjoy that? Should I bring back another walk 'em down emoji? To be honest, I thought it might have been a little bit lame, so I just took it off. But it would have been a good time for the walk 'em down emoji, wouldn't it? Useless says, sup, I wonder if it's Islam versus Michael Morales or Ian Gary. It gotta be Ian Gary, bro. It gotta be Ian Gary. It just gotta be. That's just my opinion. That's what I gotta say about it. I am concerned, though, that it is Michael Morales. We don't know. I think it's Ian Gary, though. Andrew Nance says, homie should have a hat on. Definitely. He should be hat fishing, right? Ali should definitely be hat fishing. That's a play on the term catfishing, boys. Hat fishing, beard fishing. I told you, boys, never trust someone with a hat or a beard. And I'm trolling. If you got a hat or a beard, don't trip. It ain't nothing serious. I wish they had a Lauren Murphy face emoji. Should I get a Lauren Murphy face emoji? Meat Rocket. She's so like outdated. Surprised you even brought her up. Maybe a new pick for Walk 'em Down. Okay, I'll look for something. For Walk 'em Down. Maybe I gotta drop the. Maybe I'll do like a NLE Choppa emoji for Walk 'em Down. Meat Rocket says I'm feeling Ian Gary too. Yeah, it's got to be Gary, bro. It got to be. You know, we want what's right, bro. We want what's right. We've been through that. Michael Morales ain't fought the guys Gary has. We want what's right in this world.
UFC 300. Ilya was not. Justin Gaethje was on the UFC launch Paramount Network. Ilya was not. Justin Gaethje is the main event in the White House. The only reason Ilya is on the White House because Justin Gaethje is fighting, not because Ilya Tapure. UFC 300.
Yeah, like Islam's coming back from an injury, a hand injury. As soon as he's ready, we'll figure out what's next for him.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now. Stop the cap.
Yeah.
Okay, and I mean, just for people who are kind of just new to this topic, all right, let's hear from Ilya's manager. You know, Ilya's manager did the same thing that Ali's doing, and he let it be known. So let's just see it real quick. If I can find it. It's got to be around here somewhere. Where is it? Anyone see it?
I'll tell you guys the truth.
Okay, I guess here it is. So let's hear it real quick. Let's hear from Ilya's manager about the negotiations that took place.
There's a lot of misinformation out there, but the reality of it is that it all came together Friday night, like at midnight. I got woken up out of my sleep that this is the fight they wanted to make, and then it was an all night. It legitimately, I did not sleep after that. I didn't go to sleep till the next night, and it was funny. Hunter didn't go to sleep either. We were told that Ilya was not going to be on the card earlier that week, right? Then we get a call that said, hey, if we can make a fight, you can fight Islam or Gaethje. We're focused on getting an Islam fight. So when you hear Dana say, well, that was never a fight, it was because it was talked about, but there was no agreement to fight anybody. Friday, I'm sorry. So then Wednesday, I got asked, would you guys want to do this or that? And we said, absolutely. They gave us a number. We said, absolutely not. And then we didn't hear anything after that, right? I'm sleeping Friday afternoon. So Friday night, early, I went to bed. I'm thinking we're not on the card. It's just not happening. They haven't called me. They're announcing they're going to announce it by Saturday. I say that this shit was crazy. It was like, I'm going to tell you guys the truth. Like, they already said, we're going to announce on Saturday the card. 12 midnight, literally 12 midnight till almost 11 o'clock, 11:30 the next morning, right? It was just nonstop negotiating between, I'm on the phone with Hunter for an hour and change, and then I'm on the phone with Ilya for an hour and change. So like, all right, so again, to accurately give the whole thing, I specifically called Hunter and said, do you guys plan on using Ilya for this fight at all in any way, shape, or form? If the answer is no, he's going back to Spain. If he goes back to Spain, right, and you guys call in a month or 6 weeks or whatever for him to fight, you know how that's going to go. It's not going to be a simple negotiation like, I don't know which fight fell apart. I can't call it Islam. Islam is injured, right? So that fight wasn't something that was a done deal and then it fell apart, so Gaethje stepped in. It was one of those like, hey, if we can make Islam fight, do you want to do that? All right. If not, you guys can do Gaethje, right? We had our choice, and we said yes to Islam, and we said yes to Gaethje. It was just more about the numbers and the finances. Like, they already said, we're going to announce on Saturday the card, 12 midnight, literally 12 midnight till almost 11 o'clock, 11:30 the next morning, right? It was just nonstop negotiating between, I'm on the phone with Hunter for an hour and change, and then I'm on the phone with Ilya for.
Okay, so that's that story there. And honestly, I believe the managers. I know that people want to make these guys out to be liars.
There's a lot of misinformation.
Maybe Ali's been a liar in his past. I'm not here to condemn him for anything really in the past. I don't even pay enough attention to him to call him a liar to some degree. But I believe what Ali Abdelaziz is saying, and I believe what Malky Kawa was saying. The only person I don't believe is Dana. I just don't believe that Dana is claiming that the fight didn't happen because of a hand injury. And I think Dana's the only one who has a reason to lie, because he didn't deliver us the fight we wanted, because he's too fucking cheap and he knows what's going to come his way if he admits to the shit and he's honest about it. And I mean, do we really need to hear from Ilya? No, because yes, this is a big tweet and Ilya's accusing Islam of ducking him. But it's just a bunch of bullshit because, Ilya is getting played by the UFC because the UFC is lying in the first place. So now we got Ilya repeating a lie and making his own sense of the lie, and it's super pathetic. So we're not going to really go through this because the UFC is creating a big old mess. And then, we got Islam saying we both know who chickened out here. And I just wanted to bring this up real quick. I just want to say that because Islam's saying we both know who chickened out here. And it's because of what Ali's saying, right? All this stuff you can corroborate, right? There's statements. Islam claiming that Ilya priced himself out. That's why he ducked it. Well, look what Ali says, does Ilya really want it? Because if he wants it, two things going to happen. You have to vacate his lightweight title. I don't think he wanted to do that. And he wanted to be paid a lot of money. I can't knock him for asking for a lot of money, but also I can say certain numbers that'll turn the UFC off. So, in my opinion, I think it's super funny that Ali is going to essentially, knock Ilya for asking for more money and pricing himself out in negotiations because he doesn't really want the fight. But then he's going to say, I don't blame him for asking for a lot of money. This is one of the biggest fights the UFC can make this year. Here he is saying, I believe Ilya and Islam is the biggest fight the UFC can make. So, if it's the biggest fight the UFC can make, then negotiating is part of the business. And, yeah, I find it funny because he knows the truth, bro. And I think this is enough for me to kind of just suggest to you guys that yeah, they're capping when they say that Ilya priced himself out of negotiations. They're capping when they say that. It's not the case, bro. Ilya didn't price himself out of negotiations because he's scary of Islam. And Islam didn't duck Ilya because he's scary either. The UFC didn't want to pay. But is it surprising to you? I say all this to say, is it surprising to you that Islam thinks Ilya outpriced himself because of the narrative his manager is spewing to him? You know, his manager is telling him something likely along the lines of like, you know, does Ilya really want it? Because he wanted to be paid a lot of money, right? You can say certain numbers that'll turn off the UFC. So, you know, to Islam through Ali, he's like, oh, Ilya said a number that turned off the UFC. That's why he ducked me. It's just this bullshit game. And I'm telling you guys, don't even pay attention to it. Don't even pay attention to it. I just explained it to you. That little backwards bullshit. I just explained it to you, and it really doesn't even matter. You know, they're splitting hairs over lies to begin with. The core of the truth is that none of this is true. The injury, the outpricing, none of it's true. You know, whether the injury is true or not, he would have taken the fight. And Ilya is well in his right to ask for more money. The UFC didn't want to pay it, and they pinned it on the hand injury. Boom. Boom, there we go. I think Ilya asked for a tremendous amount to go up to 170 because he's not a big guy. Whatever. They didn't want to pay it. Whatever he asked for, just take it like this. He deserved it, bro. Isn't Malky co-owner of Dirty Boxing? I don't know. Kevin says negotiate D's. Tyler Betts is crazy. They're claiming the White House guard was slapped together last minute. Another thing I don't fully know too much about, you know. I don't fully know too much about how last minute the card was put together. But honestly, it does seem like it was kind of a last, I don't know. It seems pretty scattered. Now, okay, a couple bookmarks for us to get into. Okay, a couple bookmarks to get into. But yeah, share your thoughts. You know, I want to see what you guys think. Tyler Betts says, business-wise, I don't think the Ilya-Islam fight makes sense anyway. That fight sells itself, and so does the White House card, no matter who's on the card. So Tyler Betts is basically kind of saying, you know, the whole Conor McGregor effect. We don't put Conor on big cards because it's going to sell itself. You know, I guess I could agree with that. The only issue for me a little bit is like, then why did the UFC offer it? And I don't want to hear about the John Jones thing because the John Jones situation is just different. You know, if the UFC is offering John Jones a fight and the UFC is offering Ilya and Islam a fight, I'm way more inclined that they're actually trying to do business with Ilya and Islam as the front runner. You know, John was the back end, so I want us to operate on that same term. But that would be my question. Would be the same question everyone's asking about John, right? Then why would they offer him the fight if they didn't want him on there? And that's what I guess I would respond to Tyler Betts is like, I can understand it because by that logic, you know, I don't disagree with that logic of what they do, you know, by not putting big fights on cards that are going to sell themselves. But then why did they even offer that to Ilya in the first place? They went as far as to offer Ilya a price number. You know, the only thing that hung it up is Ilya said no. So, yeah. That's it. Now I wanted to go over a few bookmarks of people just kind of reacting to this. You know, this is just a random tweet, right? It's nobody really of importance, but I just want to show you guys the narratives that people be spewing. Because it's not just this guy. You know, there's a lot of guys who are saying this right now. But Dagestan PR, of course, right? Of course, Dagestan PR is going to say Duck Poria is a 3-weight division. Pato ran from Movsar, Arman, and Islam. So, you know, this is another insufferable take that Ilya ran from Movsar. The whole Arman thing, it's not his control. You know, he's not the one who tells the UFC that he thinks Arman can beat him. So give Gaethje versus Patty. No, bro. Arman ain't his deal, and we all know the whole Islam thing by now. So I'm just telling you guys, you know, people take this news and they say Topuria ducked Islam, you know, or some people say Topuria ducked his third guy, right, in the third division. And then here's Guru, and Guru goes ahead And like, I don't know. I really don't like this type of thing. And you guys know, it's not like I disagree with everything Guru says or I fully dislike him, but some things that he does I strongly dislike. But it doesn't mean I'm just like a number one Guru hater by any means. Before I get into it, I just want you guys to know that. Um and Guru says, Ali Abdelaziz has got to be the worst at representing his fighters to the fans. He's probably great in terms of getting them paid and improving their contracts, but no manager has ever done more to hurt a fighter's image to the fan base like him, because what kind of excuse is this? So he's saying, again, Guru's the best at saying things without saying it. He's basically saying, what kind of excuse is this? So why would he be saying an excuse? Because apparently, Islam ducked the fight, right? So now they need to come out with an excuse, something alternative to the truth. And I think I told you guys already, I think Ali Abdelaziz is telling the truth. I don't think it's an excuse. I think it's the truth. I think that, Ali got offered the fight. He was waiting for Islam to wake up, essentially. And the UFC called him back and said, nah, it's not happening. I personally believe it. And maybe I'll be naive for it, but shit, we'll just find out when the time comes. I've been right about everything up to this point, I would say. As more details come out, it only proves me to be right. And I think what I'm doing is more complicated than being like, Islam's scared of Ilya. Like, that's like the best way to say a lot without really saying nothing. Like, oh, Islam's scared of Ilya? Well, we could put together a bunch of X's and O's about why that's the case, but what does it fucking mean? And who's to say it? Unless Islam admits that he ducked Ilya, it's like, what the fuck? I'm the one actually explaining these topics, so to speak, for you guys. So if more information comes out that Ali's lying or something like that, we'll address it when it comes. But I believe that Ali and Islam, they're telling the truth to some degree. I don't really think Islam and Ilya are telling the truth because they're being lied to, by the UFC and their management. Like I explained to you, right? Ilya has been told that Islam had a hand injury, so he's accusing Islam of ducking him and then making an excuse, so to speak. And then, the Ali and the UFC are telling Islam that Ilya outpriced himself. So, again, guys, the UFC is the middleman in here. Anyone want to pay attention to that, or they just want to like put the blame on these fighters and say they're scared to fight so and so for whatever reason? Like, what kind of vindication is that? It's not even a real fact. I think it's a lot of bullshit. Like, honestly, it's hopefully you guys get it. So Tyler Betts says, you think Dana going to clarify any of this, or is he going to wait till post-fight White House conference and give a half-ass answer? Well, I think that the journalists have been getting so criticized, Tyler Betts, that he better get asked about this at the next post-fight press conference he attends. He better get asked about this. And I think he will get asked about it because those are damning accusations from Ali to say that Islam would have fought. That Islam would have fought regardless of the hand injury, and they didn't turn it down because of a hand injury. That's the main thing, is that Dana says they turned it down because of a hand injury. That's what Dana says, right? One more time for you guys. Dana says they turned it down because of a hand injury. Malky Kawa says that the UFC gave him Justin Gaethje after they asked for more money. Ali Abdelaziz says that the UFC pulled back the offer before he could even get an answer from Islam. So there you go. And now, we need to ask Dana the question. Ali Abdelaziz is claiming that Islam never said no to the fight because of a hand injury. You are saying that. You are saying that. So what is the truth? Did Islam turn down the fight due to a hand injury or not? One more time for the casuals in the back. I know that it's very complicated, and while I explain these things at times, I even get lost, boys. But I think this last 2 minutes of what I just said, it should piece it all together as far as to why a reporter needs to and will ask Dana this specific question. You say the fight didn't happen because Islam's hand is injured. Ali Abdelaziz says that you pulled back the offer before they even gave you an answer. What is the truth? Lie to us some more, Baldy. I dare you. We are on to you. Somebody get me a credential into that fucking press conference, and I'll be the one to do it. Let it be me. Islam was fucking sleep, bro. The only one lying here is Dana, in my opinion. And Islam and Ilya are getting played, and the managers, they know the truth deep down, but they're not going to expose it and ruin their relationships. But they know. They know. They know. Shout out to Tyler Betts saying, one more time for the casuals in the back. It's like, we got to do it one more time for the casuals in the back. Just in case. HT just popping in saying, hey, Jay, what's popping, HT? What's popping? You missed the biggest rant/topic of the day, but we're going to get into Movsar Evloev and his broken nose in a couple moments here. Guru not the brightest lately. Interesting. I'll click on a Guru if he got a good video, but he hasn't really dropped any videos that got me to click lately. So to be honest, I've been pretty tapped out with Guru, but I did see his tweet on my timeline today. Oh, but let's look and see, is there another excuse maker for somebody else? No, I guess not. Well, maybe MMA Joey. Should we just look at MMA Joey real quick? Because, Guru and MMA Joey, they got the opposite takes or something. Okay, so I guess Joey didn't have much to say, so no worries. But Joey just said, I told you guys Islam versus Ian Machado will headline International Fight Week July 11th. The UFC is also targeting McGregor's return for that card as well. So he didn't have much to say. But I want to go back to the bookmarks for a little bit longer. Yeah, Tyler Betts says the only ducks are UFC in my opinion. Yeah, it's like let's get some justice for these fighters, bro. They're getting called ducks and stuff because Daddy Dana is lying so much. Like justice for, Islam and Ilya. Nobody's ducking anybody, bro. UFC's ducking fucking paying them. Super obvious. Meat Rocket, didn't Dana say they're losing money on this White House card? Yeah, exactly. It's an ass backwards way of doing things, guys. Right. This whole event's going to be a proper L, but it's supposed to be the biggest event ever, but they're not going to really, drop the bag on the fighters. They're going to drop the bag on the promotion and then give us, shit fights. How does all this add up, bro? If it's going to be an L, then just make it a big old L, right? And drop the whole Brinks truck on this bitch. Don't just drop the bag on the bells and whistles, bro. Drop the bag on the fighters too. Just drop the whole Brinks truck. Also, Islam hitting the heavy bag. We already know the deal, right? All right. Before I get into the next topic, I just wanted to show you guys this. This is fucking hilarious. So I don't even need to watch the video. But Daniel Cormier says, every year UFC fighters receive a letter and a check with all their royalties from merch and UFC video games. Quote, every year you'll get an envelope that says royalties. Well, fuck it. I want to get right to it. Okay. So Matt Frivola posts a screenshot of what DC said, or no, he posts a screenshot of the royalty check he got from the UFC based off what DC said, and Frivola goes, DC isn't lying. And I know Frivola is a super mid UFC fighter, so it doesn't really matter. He's not going to get a lot of money. But homie showed it. He got $250 in royalties. It's like, this shit is so sad. Homie's in a video game and shit. And like, you know, sale of merchandise and royalties from getting played in the game. And homie gets a nice little $250 check for a whole year. It's like, wipe my ass with 250, bro. Wipe my ass with 250 on the year is crazy. I just had to bring that up to you guys real quick. Now I wanted to go to Red Corner. And I wanted to show you guys the Movsar Evloev injury. Damn, he shaved his head. Bloodhound Lil Jeff says, I'm trying to member up, but the stupid app won't let me. Damn, what the hell? It should let you, homie. Definitely member up, though, Bloodhound. Don't stop trying. Okay, so I guess Red Corner posted it on IG. Let me pull it up on IG. When I was looking at it earlier, I couldn't translate it. Tuxedo, thank you for the $2 dono, homie. He said, is there any MMA YouTuber you would lose a mog off to? No, there's not. There's not. There's not an MMA YouTuber I would lose a mog off to. Bloodhound, I don't, maybe try to do it on your desktop or something. Did Red Corner like delete it? What's the deal here? Homa fight? Hello everyone, what's poppin'? I would have to I think MMA Joey beats you. Thank you again for the $2 donut, homie. No way MMA Joey would mog me. I would definitely have to mog everyone. Bloodhound Lil Jeff, yeah. Yeah, try it on the desktop, homie. Maybe it has to do with like the Apple App Store. Some weird shit with that. Damn, look at this. Everybody knows everybody in these chats. Isla says, Tuxedo, aren't you from MMA Chess Chat? MMA Chi is such a bum. Hey, well, or Isla, you definitely not gonna think that here. Ain't no way you finna watch me and think I'm a bum. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. But I don't know where Red Fury, you know, what Red Fury did with their post about this dude getting injured and shit like that, breaking his nose before the fight. But here's the story. Movsar Evloev broke his nose 4 weeks before the Lerone Murphy fight in London. He trained during Ramadan while fasting. He also had major visa issues, which he only resolved at the last moment, just 2 days before the weight cut. He had to fly nearly 10 hours from one place to another. On top of that, he had a point deducted during the fight. So, I don't know. I don't know. Did Champ Browns have a better breakdown of this? I saw a big old post today, and now it's not even on Red Corner's page. Like, is Red Corner just capping? No, yeah. But Red Corner doesn't even got it on their pages anymore. Movsar broke his nose 4 weeks before the Lerone Murphy fight. So I guess that's the news. Of course, Homa Fight, was crying for Movsar. It's no surprise, bro. It's nothing against Homa Fight. It's just like, I don't know, their guy loves the Russian fighters. Whoever like is their editor, you'll see it. It's like there's like this crybabiness for all the Russian fighters always. Yeah, bro. They took down their own post. I think that's an indication that there could have been some cap. Like, did Movsar's team message them and tell them to take it down? The post literally doesn't exist on either account. Tuxedo says, I'm in many chats I get around. I can tell, homie. Space Kid says, Tuxedo not loyal. Damn, Tux. Yeah, you better, if I'm ever live, Tux, I better be the one and only person you watch. If you be watching other people while I'm live, I would take great offense. Now, this is just the friendly reminder once again to you boys to like the stream. Run up the likes on the stream, boys. And subscribe if you're not subscribed. Tyler Bet says, I noticed championship rounds polls post where they lied or capped. Red Corner, they posted like a quote from MVP. I told you guys this. From his fight. And then I posted it. And then MVP messaged me and told me that was capped, so I deleted it. So 2 times in less than a week, bro? What the fuck going on? I don't know, guys, but it's just like there's a lot of things that go on in MMA that get talked about on a daily basis that I don't really care about. Like Sean Strickland doing a skit with Alex and Nina. I just don't got the time for it, and I could be like, I'm just not really here to make a lot of nothing, and you guys can get that stuff elsewhere. I'm sure other streamers will jester max for you and act enraged or give you some takes about Nina drama and Pereira and shit. It ain't me. I ain't finna jester max. I'm finna talk about some real stories. So, Colby and shit and his politics. It just ain't me, bro. I could give a fuck. So these are topics going on in the game right now, though. Ian Gary's still waiting on the call. Don't got much to say. Ilya Topuria signing a new deal with Richard Milley. Pretty dope. That's pretty dope. Space Kid says, or Colby saying he wrestled Armand back in the day. It's like, yeah, bro, what I'm supposed to say? Oh, Armand's ducking Colby. Armand's super scary at Colby. It's like, bro, I ain't got the time. I don't even know whether that shit's true or not, But that's the type of topics I could care less to talk about, I only try to give you guys the real stuff to pay attention to. I'm not trying to cloud it up, So, like, I think a lot of other YouTubers be doing that, though. But this is dope. Ilya Topuria signing a deal with Richard Milley. We all remember Jake Paul was called into Aiden Ross's stream a couple weeks ago when Ilya was on there. And he's calling out Ilya for why he wearing a Richard Milley. And Ilya's like, bro, I got something to announce real soon. Don't trip. I ain't wearing this Richard Milley to flex. We got business to announce. This ain't no flex. I wouldn't even be rocking this. This ain't even my style. Ilya kind of like me. He don't need to rock no bling. He doing it because he getting paid for it. That's not like me. But you feel me. So now it got announced today. This is why Ilya was wearing the Richard Milley on Aiden Ross's stream, Mr. Jake Paul.
I'm a professional athlete, a dreamer, and a normal person. At least this is how I consider myself. When I was was 8 years old, my parents had to leave me and my brothers to come to Europe to find a better future for us. The difficult moments gave me the maturity that I feel that I have today. Every time that I doubt in something, the only thing to keep it away is to work hard, to give the answers to your doubts. The thing that I want to achieve in this life, in reality, is happiness. No one said it will be easy.
Tyler Best says, I hate when rich fighters got to make up some sob story BS. You think he acting like he had a rough life when he didn't or something? Honestly, the only thing I really took from it was when he said, you got to give answers to your doubts. I just liked hearing that. So, I mean, that's pretty much, the topics on the day. Ian Gary waiting for the call, like we said. The only thing that really transpired, Max Holloway, Conor McGregor. Again, when we're talking about Conor's return, I'm just done with it, bro. I'm just done wasting my breath about this shit. I've done it for too much. I've just done it too much. We're clamoring for Conor versus Nate. People talking about Conor versus George. It's just like too much, bro. Way too much. I'm over this shit. Conor, we'll see you. Like I said before, I will be here. I'll be here whenever that gets announced. Damn, yeah, so nothing going. So I guess the only other real thing going on in the MMA world, kind of like this media day right here.
Israel.
So maybe we'll just kind of, chill out and we'll listen to this media day. We'll hear what's going on. Haven't really listened to this. So let's all listen to this, I guess, together. And this will probably end up being the stream once we wrap this up. But let's hear the Israel Adesanya and Joe Pyfer pre-fight media day. Let's hear them speak to the media. Gable Steveson signed a RAF. Yep, I saw that, Dundaughter. I did see that. I'm honestly not the biggest Gable Steveson fanboy. So, I actually don't have much to say about Gable Steveson getting signed to RAF. I actually don't got much to say about that at all. I don't know. I'm like I said, I'm not a Gable Steveson. I guess I'll just be honest. You guys can call me a Gable Steveson hater, bro. You could call me a Gable Steveson hater. Okay, Space Kid says, glad to watch this in the stream. Haven't got to watch this yet. Perfect. That makes two of us. And anyone else who hasn't watched this. Let's tune in.
The longest hiatus of your career. How
I want to say this before we watch this, boys. For the one time, okay, I want to request for you boys, while we're watching this, if you got a thought about something, I want you to drop it in the chat. Okay, for the one time, if you got a thought about something that these boys say, I want you to drop it in the chat. I'm reading chats right now as we're watching, so now's your moment. Now's your moment to shine.
How much have you missed the game being out away from the sport?
It's been fun to watch the game from far away. and just observe. And again, a lot happens in a year, a lot of growth, a lot of understanding of the game, the fighting game itself, and of myself as an athlete, as a person. Yeah, so it's good to clock back into work and do what I do best.
Do you feel like you've missed the sport, or has the sport missed you? Do you feel like this sport is missing you in the Israel Adesanya experience?
I have missed fighting, but I think the sport's missed me. From what I'm hearing in my DMs from fans, again, I was one of the last, real ones who was active, not trying to just hold the belt for no reason, fight everybody. So yeah, I'm just happy to be back.
It sounds crazy to say, and actually, at one point in time, I couldn't imagine Izzy not being in the sport. I really was gonna miss his presence, but among his amid his hiatus, honestly, haven't missed him that much. Haven't even really found myself asking when he's gonna come back. Haven't really seen anybody ask in the chat when he's coming back. I know he's saying the sports missed him, and that's fine. But on my end, as somebody who actually thought they would miss Izzy, I haven't really missed Izzy at all. His fights were boring, bro. I got over it. Volk, the last active champ, yeah. And Pantoja, you're right. Pantoja too. Izzy was as well. Izzy was active, but he was low-key kind of boring. But those Pereira fights were good shit. Shout out to Izzy. I don't want to diss Izzy. Pereira, Strickland. I'll give it to him.
Looking at Joe, on paper, it would seem his biggest threat is the heavy hands that he always has. He's got that knockout power. Do you see that as his biggest weapon in this, or do you think he's more well-rounded than perhaps we're giving him credit for?
No, I think he's very well-rounded. I think he is a big threat on the feet with the hands. And also his shot. He's got a fast shot. I've studied that very well in his grappling tendencies. So, yeah, I look forward to him testing that against me, and I want him to feel what I can do when it comes to grappling.
Yeah. You said that fighting now is about showing your skills and getting to express yourself in the cage. What does the full expression look like on Saturday? If you could design the perfect fight and that's how I want to come out of the cage, what does it look like?
I go in there, touch gloves with the, face off, get into my stance, and I just go at him, attack him straight away. He tries to hit me, I'm not there. And then when I'm hitting him, he's going to be like, right, let's shoot. Shoots, stuffs the takedown. Because the takedown defense starts from the feet, starts from the distance. And I just don't think he's going to, only way he can, no, I won't say that one. But yeah, I want to be clean. I want to go in there and let him hit fresh air.
You're a big guy on energy. What have you made of Joe's energy this week? I know that you guys have quite a nice relationship, but obviously he's found religion now and stuff like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He found religion?
Hardcore.
Oh, real? I had no idea.
Yeah.
Good for him. Which one? Christian, Islamic?
He did not specify. I would assume Christian.
That's cool. Respect.
But yeah, he's been very, very change of character, not very aggressive. He's sort of saying that he's here and that now his life is about more than just fighting. He sees this as unimportant in his life now compared to his religion. Do you take anything from that? Do you take anything from his energy this week? And if so, what do you make of it?
No, I didn't really know. I haven't seen him this week, so we haven't really felt energy. But I don't think there's going to be an issue. We've met once or twice, and he's been very complimentary, and I've, given it back. But, yeah, I don't. When we get in there and they lock the cage doors, the beast will come out. And, yeah, alhamdulillah.
Israel over here. Right here in the front row. How's it going?
Hey, man.
Good to see you again. Tell me how this fight was sort of presented to you. Was it just that you wanted to get back in the UFC?
Thank you, Tuxedo, for the $2 donut, homie. You got the juice, the nose, and the gas. Whatever that means. Poetan, too, of course, he was an active champ. That's right, Tyler Betts, you're right. He didn't specify. Nah, dumbass reporter just don't know. Yeah, I mean, come on. Joe Pyfer, 100,000% a Christian. Useless dropping the Diddy emoji for Izzy's crazy work. Scripted shit. Let's hear the rest.
Sort of offered you Joe, or were there any other names in the mix? Like how did this fight materialize?
To be honest, I just said yes. They offered me Joe, and I said yes. I'm not sure which other names were offered to my managers. They, like, the buck stops with me. The line, I signed on the dotted line. So, yeah, they will only present me something if it's something of substance, something that's, like, on the table. So he was the only name offered, and I was just like, yep, let's fight, because I was just, I was ready to fight.
Is the mentality any different this time around with all the time off you've had? I know you wanted, to kind of take a step back, just kind of look on your career and then come back. Like, is there a different feel this week, or are you treating this like every other fight?
It feels the same, to be honest. Okay. It's I'm glad it's less media. Shout out to Tim for trimming it down. I'm glad it's just, it's a good way to get back into the game. I can go in the deep end. I can jump in there and swim with the sharks. But I like this pace where I just kind of like come in and, everything's so familiar. So my body recognizes it. My mind recognizes it. We're just going.
I know the task at hand is obviously, taking out Joe, and there's, the division's open now with obviously Chimaev being champion and everything. You did have that move up to 205 a couple of years ago. Is that something that's still a possibility of you going back up, or do you see yourself just continuing at 85? Yeah.
No, I'll leave that to like Rob, and I think Costa apparently is going up. Apparently Chimaev is going. I found out yesterday he might be moving up. So I don't know. I like 185. This is where I'm at. This is where I reign. So I'm gonna stay.
How do you think Rob will do at 205, and Paulo Costa for that matter?
I have no idea about Costa, but Rob's been looking good in the gym. He started his camp with us. So, yeah, great. Just a great training partner to have in the room. And, yeah, he still got it. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, no, he looked good. There's a lot of history here in Seattle with Bruce Lee. Obviously, he passed away here, I know.
I'm going to go see him after this.
I was just going to say, because Song Yadong, I know he headlined the card last time he went and visited his grave. Is that so that you're going to be doing something similar?
Me and Navajo are going to be going to the tomb of one of the goats after this and just pay our respects, but also just get some energy, get some mana.
How much of an impact did Bruce have on your career?
God, bro, why do they insist on asking gay-ass questions week after week? Like, rest in peace, Bruce Lee, bro. Like, fucking A, bro. We're asking him about, like, the memorial of Bruce Lee and going to visit it. That's why this shit's just terrible sometimes. Like, bro, ask him about Joaquin Buckley revoking his N-word pass. Holy moly, Ask about Joaquin Buckley calling him gay because he paints his nails. Like, shit, give us something. Anyway, let's continue. It's just like, and I know those are crazy ones, and those are from my interviews with Joaquin, but, it's better than asking about Bruce Lee's memorial. Chain Firing Mech Warrior says, hey, Jacob, what's poppin', Chain Firing Mech Warrior? Good to see you. Tony Sal's laughing. It's like, yeah, man, we got more pressing issues to ask. Like, why, whether or not he saw that Joaquin revoked his N-word pass because he's not American and shit. Like, we got way more pressing issues to address. Tuxedo says, Joe Pyfer found Hinduism. Homie, a Buddhist now. Gotta be Christianity. I'll be shocked if he's a Hindu or a Muslim. And then Space Kid says, I saw somebody say DDP was pretty active before he got brutally bulldozed. Honestly, DDP was pretty active too. We can't cap about that. DDP was pretty active as well. Shit, I mean, Strickland's title reign didn't last very long, but Strickland was pretty active up until he lost the belt. Then he took about a year off, but Strickland was hella active before that. Chain Firing says, ask him about listening to Tony Braxton with a bunch of dudes after losing to Strickland. LOL, Bruce Lee Memorial, pretty sick though. I still gotta go. It's cool, but it's like, bro, we're here to get like headlines and shit like that. We're here to get the juice. He only obligated to do this for like 15 minutes at a time. Let's not pussyfoot around. Let's ask him the pressing issues. We trying to make headlines, not like have wholesome conversation. Go do this on a podcast. Like, questions are limited here per person. Get the juice out.
On my career, again, if not for him, us Chinese people might not be. If not for him,
shout out to all my Chinese people. I'm actually Chinese, so shout out to me.
Got the jokes. Still got the jokes.
But if not for him, movies might not be the way it is. Action movies, action stars. Blade, Chuck Norris, like those guys, rest in peace, they might not be where it is, but For me, Jackie Chan was my guy that I grew up watching. You know, Bruce Lee was, I guess, for the 80s. A lot of black Americans and Americans fuck with it. And, you know, but for me, it was Jackie Chan. He was more my flavor. But Bruce Lee is a legend. He's a guy that I've admired. His philosophy, mainly. His fighting style was cool, but mainly his philosophies and the way he thought. That's what drew me to him.
And just last one for me. I'm sure we'll see how the fight goes on Saturday, but are you kind of just taking it fight to fight as far as, you know, the longevity of your career? Like if this goes really well, that could maybe extend things. Is that kind of how you're seeing things? Because you got a lot of things going on outside. Like you got the YouTube channel. There's a lot of things happening for you outside of fighting.
Yeah, but I still have so much left on the table. And for me, I'm taking everything one moment at a time, one day at a time, one fight at a time, because the world's crazy right now, so we don't know what's going to happen. So everything is just about this moment. Normally, when I was coming up, also I'm in a different place in my career. When I was coming up, you know, I'm fighting actively 5 times in my first year in the UFC, calling out name after name after name, picking my opponents. But it's not really just, like, why would I don't need to do, I am me. I'm Israel Adesanya, so they call me out. I've been away for a year, and I've had a few call-outs that I hear about through the grapevine. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, so yeah, I don't really have to do all that stuff. I just kind of come in here and just get my job done.
Did someone call you out that you didn't feel was deserving of it? Like you kind of just made that comment there.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Joaquin called his ass out because Izzy was hate watching Joaquin when he lost to Usman. All right, so is he gonna play the victim here, as if people be calling him out? I know he talking about Joaquin. 100% he talking about Joaquin, calling him zesty as fuck. Because I brought back up, you know, he called Izzy sweet after he responded to Izzy, you know, celebrating his loss to Usman. He called him a sweet motherfucker. I said, what does sweet motherfucker mean? And Joaquin said, you know what it means? And I said, does it mean gay? Zesty? And he said, shit, what's understood don't gotta be explained. Anybody who paints their fingernails is zesty. All right? And then, you know, Joaquin went on to revoke Izzy's N-word pass. So Izzy definitely speaking about Joaquin here, in my opinion. No one's been calling out Izzy. No one's been calling out Izzy. Joaquin, the most recent one to call out Izzy. But I say all that to say that Izzy ain't a victim of Joaquin calling him out. You shouldn't have hate watched him and posted that on your YouTube channel and celebrated him losing to Usman and said shit like, I just hate this guy. You know, I don't fuck with this guy. Retire after losing to Usman. So, you know, Izzy going to play the victim role here. Shara 2 says Tyler Betts. Okay. Shara 2. Something tells me, though, I mean, I've seen Izzy. He doesn't like to mention Buckley's name. So the fact that he said it doesn't matter makes me think that it's Buckley low-key. But it could also be Shara. I forget when Shara called him out, but I believe Tyler Betts. Tyler Betts quoting the reporter like you kind of just made that comment there. It's like it's like, bro, you didn't need to say that. It's fine. It's fine. He knows he knows what he said. Tuxedo saying, imagine how unfortunate it would be to be named Israel right now. It's not the best time to be named Izzy, is it? And then Tyler Betts says, Izzy was running around Pike Place Market in Chinatown in Seattle. Hope he's don't get the sickness everybody got here right now, including me. Ooh, there's a little flu going around. I've been in Pike Place. Shout out to Pike Place Market. Didn't go to Chinatown, though. Continuing.
Izzy, over here. You said you're at a different stage in your career. What do you feel that this fight represents for you at this stage in your career?
This is like the classic tale, because I've watched this game for so long. This is the classic tale of when they try and get, you know, the old guard and give him a young dog, you know? So for me, I've seen how this goes. This is just the cycle. And sometimes, you know, us old fellas or older guys, you know, stop them in their tracks. So this fight for me is just the story I'm telling myself, the story I'm going to write this weekend is after a year off, he comes back and just performs better than he ever has, or just like he did. And people like, because again, you know how the game is. People just, you're only as good as your last fight. So when I'm done this weekend, I want people to be like, oh, wow, fuck. How did I ever doubt him? How did I ever think he was done? Like, what the fuck was I thinking? So, yeah, that's the story I want to write this weekend.
And with recent setbacks in your career, how have you adjusted your preparation in preparing for Joe Pyfer?
It wasn't really about the opponent because we do that very well. We take care of the game plan as a team very well. For me, it was just about details, staying off my phone less, because you don't realize, like, fuck, even when the whole thing dropped, the list dropped, my whole timeline was just Island, Epstein, this, that, blah, blah, and it just gets depressing. So I had to log out. And then you know that habit where you grab your phone out of habit to go back in there. I have the door locked now, so like you have to log in. So I know, do I want to go back in there or not? Because again, it fucks with your attention span, fucks with your focus, a lot of things. So I got off my phone more, I stayed off my phone more, gamed more, slept better. What else? Ate good. Still had some Uber Eats, but yeah, ate really good, tried to eat clean, and just little details. Those are the things I took care of in preparation for this fight. Not really like the game plan and stuff, because we do that very well.
Thank you.
The quitting social media on Izzy's behalf, and then Joe Pyfer finding God ahead of this fight. It's like these dudes are battling some inner demons. whether we want to accept it or not, these dudes battling a couple inner demons. How do I put this? The pressure is low key on for this fight. You can tell, when guys start doing stuff like this, and it's nothing wrong with it, but I'm just saying, the pressure's on. Last time we heard about this, Sean O'Malley was stopping jerking and all this other stuff, right? So this kind of reminds me of that. Pyfer finding God, Izzy quitting social media.
Good luck on Saturday.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask, how much you're such a seasoned fighter that how much do you think like randomness, the element of randomness or luck, factors into professional MMA? In your last fight, you won the first round and you looked to be doing pretty well in the second round. You got hit with a low blow, maybe didn't wait as long as you should have before going back in. Do you think that's an element of randomness or luck? And I guess in general, how much has that? Have you thought about that in your career?
That's a good question. Randomness. I mean, that's life. Things happen. But yeah, for me, the lesson was, take time. You don't have to. As soon as it happened, I was kind of on the fly. I was like, you know what? I don't want to give him time to rest because I knew I was winning. But yeah, I made a mistake by resetting at the wrong distance. So that was my bad. And these are things that happen in life. Sometimes you're doing so well, and then all it takes is a split second of lapse in focus. And again, I've taken care of that very well this camp.
And you spoke about the old guard facing the new fighters. You've drawn Anderson Silva comparisons since the start of your career. Do you see yourself kind of as in the same position as a late career Anderson Silva?
Yeah, but different. And something I even said to Oscar yesterday was, when you think about Anderson Silva, no one thinks about the last part of his career. They remember the highlights and the moments he made them feel something. He made the whole world feel something, like just by being himself, being amazing at fighting, and just being a sweet guy. So for me, it's not, I'm in the same position. Like I said, this is the cycle of everything, but, I'm going to write my own story.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Hey, Israel. What is your relationship currently with the fans? Because you said, you've been getting some messages and things like that about you coming back. But I remember, I think it was on the Joe Rogan pod a few years ago. You were on there and you said, dude, I'm cool if you want to come up and take a picture with me and things like that. But I don't like the NPC actions when people come and they yell in my face and things like that. So where does the current relationship stand with the fans?
It's all about respect. Like, I'm sure I've had some bad interactions with fans because some people just, they don't care about, you. They just want what they want. They want that picture now. I could be having dinner with my family, having a serious conversation, and then they just interrupt us. And I don't want to be that guy, but I'm like, you're being that guy. And you can, it's all about respect, you know, time and place. Outside the hotel, I take photos. I just don't like scalpers, guys who bring like 20 things to sign. I'm like, I know what you're doing. I ain't stupid. I wasn't born yesterday. But it's about respect. And I've had great interactions with fans. People who show respect, like, you'll see heaps of comments on my freestyle band of people being like, I met this guy one time and, man, we talked for like 15 minutes. Even if it's 5 seconds, I want to connect with someone for that. I'll make them feel seen for that 5 seconds, you know?
Wait, hold on a second. This is unrelated to the Izzy fight. This is completely unrelated to the Izzy fight. This is just related to Tyler Betts dropping in the chat saying, MMA Now, my new arch rival. My new fucking arch rival, MMA Now. Tyler Betts says he's doing a poll on his live stream or something. Who knows what it's on? I don't know what he's referring to. Maybe it's a poll on like his community channel. Who knows? But MMA Now, for those that don't know, the other day, I did the live stream saying the UFC sucks now in the Big 26. And I reacted to every single fight. It's been clipped off and posted on the videos tab. So you guys can go back and see that. But this little bird for brain was in the chat, MMA Now. And he's like, the UFC's been solid this year. I fuck with it, right? And I was telling him, I'm like, bro, you're a fucking clown. And we don't need your toxic positivity over here. It's bringing down the sport. And turns out, you know, he doing a fucking poll right now and 70% voted yes. It's like, bro, I told you I wasn't fucking tripping. And this dude wanted to debate me. Debate yourself. Debate your viewers, homie. Go debate your viewers. Go debate yourself. It ain't a debate. I'm telling you. I was telling you guys. I wasn't debating nothing. You know, I was straight telling you guys the UFC fucking sucks. It ain't a question. It ain't a debate. You know, I was coming on to tell you boys. But honestly, after that stream, I was thinking about it, and I'm down to debate some people. You know, I'm even down to have like a call-in show and do some debating of the fans. Like, does anyone want to call in and debate me about my take about Ilya and Islam? Does anyone want to debate me? Even though there's not much to debate because the other side of it is that Islam ducked Ilya. But you guys can play that game and I'll just like debunk it over and over and over again. I got the points down. You know, you don't got no proof. And any context you want to provide ain't really gonna help it, and I'll debunk it. So, shit, we could start doing these debates, right? We could start doing it. Space Kid says, tell him. Tyler Betts goes, LOL, I randomly scrolled into his live stream that night and didn't even know it was him until he said, quote, Tyler Betts, I just saw you. LOL, he said he's still down to collab with you. No, let's debate. I'll have him on. I'll body him. We can body him. If he wants to debate that, you know, I mean, although it's not much to debate, but yeah, we can have him on. Let's have him on, you know, whatever the case. I'm not going to go looking for it. But if homie finds himself in the chat again and wants to call in and get bodied, I might just oblige him. And I'd be down to do that more often. That could be something to add to the live streams, you know, debating fans, so to speak, who disagree with me. I prefer to debate people who disagree with me, right, than people who agree with me. Should I tell him to pull up now or save it? Well, we're 20 minutes into this. I mean, if you want him to pull up now, we could do it for a little bit. The problem is it's kind of late, but you could tell him to pull up now if you want to. We can send him a Discord link. I gave you the green light, Tyler Betts. So if you want to bring him in here, we could run it.
The picture, and I will even pick like something I like about their outfit or their look, and I'll just make them feel seen and connect for that little bit. But sometimes if it's the energy's right and you don't force things and people aren't weird, because you get some weird people. I'm sure you've heard stories, but you get some weird people who trying to hold you hostage. But nah, it's all about respect, man. If you give me respect, I'll give it back. But if you're a dickhead and you don't even realize and you're not objective enough to see that you're a dickhead, then I can be a bigger dick too.
Do you have a Nav story for us while he's in the room?
Navajo. Is he in the room? A Nav story. What's a good Nav story? I mean, it was cool when I won the belt 287 again in Miami, having him around. I just like the picture of us at 11, and he had Miami shirt on, shirtless, smoking a cigar, and I'm there. I think same thing, just smoking a cigar in the club. That was fun. Yeah. So again, he's a guy that I've admired since he came to the gym, and I'm finding out how much I played a part in his career as well. So it's cool. Something he said on Freestyle Bender the other day, the young man Rambo, he said like he thought like, man, I was hoping you'd be around so we can be on the same card together. So now we're on the same card together. You know, that's my twin. See, we look alike. So it's good to like make it full circle finally. I'm sure he can tell you some stories, but you know.
That's my twin. We look alike, bro. You and Navajo look nothing alike. What the hell is going on here? He's white, you're black. Or at least he light skin black.
That's for him to tell. Easy as. Thank you guys. This is fun.
Woo. Joe, it feels like in terms of names you could have on your resume when the career's all said and done, Israel Adesanya.
Blue collar man coming through. Blue collar Joe Pyfer. Why the fuck is he still fighting? Honestly, I mean, he almost done, but let him get his last couple checks, I guess. He not fully washed yet, Tux. He not fully washed yet. But if he loses to Pyfer, I will say, homie, just retire.
That might be one of the best that you could have available to you. Is that how you're feeling going into this fight?
Yeah, no, he's the greatest middleweight of all time, in my opinion. So yeah, it's a great opportunity. It's a great privilege to be able to do what I do and be able to say that I fought one of the best in the world. So I really look at this as a win-win, you know, and I'm honored that I got this opportunity. Could have been anybody else, but it's me.
What makes him the best middleweight of all time, in your opinion?
I just think if you look at Anderson Silva, who was also one of the best, I think the modern era of the MMA fighter is now. And from year to date, I think Israel has beat the more complete MMA fighters.
He does. He looks like an undercover space kid. He looks like you guys know King of Queens? Anyone know that old sitcom? It's from like the 90s, I think, with Kevin, what's his name? Kevin James. Kevin James from King of Queens. He got the Kevin James from King of Queens swag on right now. He looked like he coming from the shift at the Jiffy Lube. with the blue little name tag on and shit. Will Pyfer turn the body cam off? Shit, that Pyfer don't exist no more, Tux. That Pyfer don't exist no more, homie. This Christian Joe Pyfer. This ain't undercover turn the body cam off Joe Pyfer. This Christian Joe Pyfer. He keeping the body cam on. You know, he ain't doing nothing evil no more. Nothing illegal. LOL, what the fuck he wears. Or look what the fuck he wears. Yeah, this the King of Queens attire right here. Tyler Bet says he said after his live, bro, suddenly sweating bullets. LOL, nah, but I don't know how much longer y'all gonna be on. I'm gonna be on till the end of this, and then I'm finna get off. So if he wants to hop on in between that time, we could do it. If not, it's all good.
And
it's like I just would love to hear what he has to say as far as why the UFC is at the best it's ever been. You know, I just want to hear it from him. In the Big 26, you know, in the Big 26.
And just the way that he did it, you know, I think he was so dominant. Obviously, Anderson Silva was, but, you know, like, no disrespect to guys like Stephen Bonner or Forrest Griffin or Rich Franklin, but they weren't at the level that I think MMA fighters are today. So that's why I tip the cap to Israel as the greatest middleweight of all time.
You're always a very confident guy. I don't think you get overawed in these sort of situations, but do you anticipate a moment where you're actually facing off in the cage and being like, fucking hell, it's Israel Adesanya? Are you expecting that?
No. I've never been that guy. It's never really happened to me. It could have happened to me with like KG or in my debut, like realizing I'm in the UFC, but it's just, I don't know. Things like that don't happen to me for whatever reason. It's a good thing, you know. Israel's a man, breathes air, bleeds blood. I respect him. I care about the guy. I've met him a few times. I think he's a real good dude. And I don't know him personally like that, but yeah, I got nothing bad to say about him.
You've obviously spoken this week a lot about your personal life changes. Curious, what made you want to talk about that with us, media and the public?
I think if you've made true change and this is really how you choose to live your life, then you shouldn't be afraid of anything that anybody has to judge about your life. And I really feel like the change has come within my soul, and it's a beautiful thing. It sets a man free. I feel reborn. I feel reinvigorated. I feel like this isn't that big to me anymore. It used to be all or nothing. I used to be captured by anxiety, addiction, and just trapped within my own mind. So it's very important, not just for you guys here, but for the world to hear, and on your platforms, if you guys choose to release it. I know it's like a finicky thing to be able to talk about faith for whatever reason in this country or just in the world with the way everything seems to have been going. So God has restored my life, and I feel like a born-again believer, and yeah, I don't want to be a bad person anymore. I think this gives me a true compass on how to be a real man.
You say about not being a bad person anymore. I don't want to delve into your personal life, but the stuff that we know about, right? Some of the comments you've made that got you backlash in the past, or those sort of things. Do you look at those as examples of being a bad person, or do you think, no, that's sort of separate to what I'm talking about?
No, those are examples of being a bad person. Whether I felt I was right or I was wrong, it doesn't matter. It didn't need to be said. But I wanted to say it because I followed what my ego and what my heart thought was right. And sometimes the heart is the biggest deception and deceiver that you can have. And, I have my justifications for why I've said what I've said. It's not like I just came out of the blue saying these things. But, just handling things with a little bit more grace now. And I don't have to comment on everything that makes me upset. I don't have to give energy or life to everything that makes me upset. I live a privileged life. I live a great life of opportunity. Look at where I'm sitting. Look at who I'm fighting. And look at the life that I've lived and where I'm at from the life that I've been able to survive and still make it to here. So I don't think any of that's possible without God directing and being in my life with the people, particularly He's put around me. And I'm just very grateful that I never hurt myself and I never took myself off this planet from being that selfish. So, yeah, man, it's a true change in my life. And my girlfriend, Ashlyn, helped me come to know God to a whole nother level I never felt was possible. And feeling the presence of God is special.
Thank you.
Joe over here. So kind of on that note, like we see you here, you're very calm, and like it seems like a different mentality sort of going into fight week. But how do you flip that switch when you step into the cage and you turn into sort of this, the killer and the aggressive fighter? Like, how do you find that balance?
Yeah, I think it's been the most asked question revolved around like my change, right? But it's I know what I'm doing, and I've always been a competitor. I've done this long enough that I know how to turn that switch, and that's what I believe about. One of my buddies, Ryan Del Grande, told me, which I was super against and fought him on it as I was trying to, chase my faith and everything, was that we're all actually bad people, and we need a moral compass, being God and faith, to actually allow us to have the opportunity to be good people, which is why you have to teach your children not to hit each other, not to be jealous. We all naturally are jealous, envious, greedy, and we have to be taught not to do those things. So I naturally will always have that anger in me, that hurt, that desire to hurt somebody. It's just a part of being an imperfect human, especially with how long I've done this and how long I've competed. So it's not going to be any different, except the only difference will be that I'm fighting for the love of my life and our future and our family and even her family, as they've taken me in and been there, unconditionally. So yeah, I'm fighting for her, us, and our future.
I want to go all the way back to you getting this fight. What was your reaction when you found out you would be fighting Israel Adesanya? Because I think a lot of fighters wanted that fight. It's a big name in the division. Were you surprised at all to get this fight?
I wasn't surprised because I don't like. Was there more people deserving than me on paper? Absolutely. I'm not stupid, but I put myself in this position, I think, because I get finishes I'm exciting to watch, and I'll go for broke. And I used to say very harsh things and crazy crap. Hopefully this guy doesn't suffer from a suffocation from going down the wrong windpipe. But yeah, man, I wasn't surprised, but I'm very grateful for the opportunity. Originally they were trying to get me with Paulo Costa, and I wasn't a fan of that just because of how inconsistent his career has been with actually making the fights and missing weight and all this other stuff. Like, I wasn't in the position, still I'm not in the position until, obviously we got on a new contract and everything to possibly not fight. I want to be active. I've had a lot of injuries, so I can't really afford to not fight. And, yeah. So
Okay.
I'm grateful for it. Thank you.
And we talked about all the accolades that Israel Adesanya has. You spoke very highly of him. How do you prepare for a striker like him that's so high level? Do you bring fighters in? Is it a game plan thing? Like, how do you deal with someone like Adesanya?
Yeah, he moves a lot. He's a chess player. He's not an egotistical guy. When he's in there, he's really trying to use his skills as a way to dismantle you. So one of his greatest attributes is his distance management. And he's downloading the whole time. So, if he's able to make you bite here and make you bite again, then he goes. So he goes after he gets some reads. And so, yeah, it was a little bit frustrating at camp. Obviously, I had those days. I'm fighting a guy who is constantly moving, constantly feinting, super long, super tall, and, isn't going to stay in the pocket too many times and trade blows. So, yeah, it is what it is. I think every camp is hard, but I brought in tall people. I did the best that I could. I trained my butt off and made a best man win Saturday night.
I know you're different fighters, but what did you make of his performance against Imavov in his last fight? Because there's some school of thought that maybe Adesanya's on the decline. Others say that, it's just he got caught and you sort of finished that way. Like, what was sort of your assessment of his performance in that fight?
Yeah, I think it's exactly that. He got caught, and I know everybody's like, oh, he lost 4 of his last 5, but, 3 of his...
Pretty good opposition, though, right?
Yeah, 3 of his 3-fight skid is literally number 1, I think, is Imavov. Number 2 is DDP. And then, number 3 is Strickland. All 3 of the guys that he lost to are still above him, and he's number 4 now. Mm-hmm. So, give the guy some grace. He's done a lot in the sport. I'm not going to sit there and pretend like that's motivation for me because he's on a 3-fight. It's a record. Like, I don't care about his record as far as I'm concerned. I'm 0-0 against him. He hasn't beat me. I haven't beat him. It was a totally different fight, totally different challenge. And the reason I believe that is true is because I have an equalizer in both of my hands that God has given me a gift that I can beat any man on any given night. Just don't get clipped. So I don't make too much of his losses. I think he's still one of the best.
And just last one for me, you referenced Sean Strickland, obviously big opportunity against Chimaev coming up here pretty soon. What do you make of that fight? Obviously, styles make fights. It's going to be, I think, a different fight than what we saw against Chimaev and Dricus du Plessis. How do you see that fight unfolding?
I don't know. I didn't really think too much about it, but I'm happy that Sean Strickland's getting the opportunity. I'm Team USA still. And, I hope he wins. I think he's got a good opportunity. I think he's got good takedown defense. I think he's got good get-ups. I think he's got a real opportunity to win. So best of luck to Sean Strickland, and I hope he wins.
Hey, Joe. We talked a little bit yesterday, and you kind of said, if it goes this way, if it goes my way on Saturday, then it was part of the plan. But if it goes the other way, that's part of the plan too. And like sometimes we don't hear fighters kind of talk about that mentality of being okay if it doesn't go their way. Do you think, has that affected your mentality going into the octagon, or do you think it makes you more dangerous knowing the fact that you've accepted it could go either way?
No, I think it makes me more dangerous because I'm not sitting here battling my mind trying to control every result to be a positive. You're going to have negative thoughts, you're going to have doubts, you're going to have all this crap that comes into your mind. It's just a matter of how you filter it. And, like I said, I feel like I've been truly set free to where it's like I can't control anything but right now. Like, I can't worry about Saturday night because right now I'm sitting here doing an interview talking to you guys about what's really changed in my life, something that really has brought me to tears every single day for the past 5.5, 6 weeks. And, I feel a true conviction to just let go of everything and trust God's plan. Like, that's truly just where I'm at. And, we'll worry about the fight Saturday night when it's the day to fight. But right now we worry about doing interviews and having a good time and enjoying this and not riddling my mind with constant concern. Like, if I truly trust and I believe in God's plan, win or lose, I just have to go out there and give it my absolute best and face whatever that result is. So that is true freedom. And that's why I said that yesterday with you, which I'm thankful for you, because I think there's a lot of platforms that don't want people to talk about God, Jesus, or our faith. And I'm going to continue to do so, even if it pisses people off.
Appreciate it, bro. And I think you were on the Overdogs podcast probably like a month ago, and you talked about Bo Nickel and you said, I want to fight this guy. Do you think, like, first of all, has that perspective?
I'm different even from that interview.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, because like at the time, did you think you?
See what I mean, though? Like, the interview he's speaking about is the Joaquin Buckley interview on Overdogs, and that was literally this year. We're only in March. We're about to enter April. And that interview, I believe, was maybe in February. Now, here he is about to fight Izzy. So he's had I don't know, maybe a month or about a couple months notice. So it, like, him finding God, kind of like what I said earlier, where I was like trolling a little bit, saying like, oh boy, both these guys are battling demons going into this one. They've resorted to outsourcing, things outside of their technique, right? Homie's finding God. And I ain't docking it, so don't get it twisted. Okay. You guys know me. It's trolling and it's a little bit of truth. So shit, you figure out which one you want to listen to. All right. But Joe, he finding God and, he looking outside his techniques to maybe help him beat Izzy. I'll put words in his mouth. Okay. I'll admit to it. He's not saying that, but I'm finna assume that. And then you got Izzy quitting social media and all this stuff, eating healthier, the deal. So, but I'm just saying, like I said that earlier, to start this whole thing off, I was joking when Izzy said that he quit social media. And I was like, yeah, and Joe Pyfer Joe Pyfer found God before this fight. But I'm saying all that to say that, the timeline of him finding God and the Izzy fight getting booked kind of coincides. It kind of proves my point. Because like I said, he says he's different from that interview where he talked shit on Bo Nickel. And that was on Overdogs when Joaquin Buckley asked him about Bo. And that was like literally right around the same time that his fight got booked. Right after his fight got booked right after that. Joe living in the moment, Pyfer, that's gold. He is living in the moment, and he is pretty calm. So I don't want to fully dock him, but just let me, we just trolling, we joking. Nothing too serious. I am glad that he found God, so amen to that. Yeah, Tyler Betts says, I'm gonna take NyQuil and melatonin. That's wild. I'm broken saying, I don't think you need both. How much milligrams of melatonin are you taking? Yeah, I don't know if you need both, homie. Is he battling his puppy going into this one again? Shout out Unbroken. We can't talk about Izzy without mentioning the puppies. Tyler Betts says he's taking a light dose tonight of melatonin, only 5 milligrams. And yeah, even worse with alcohol, but hard to get to sleep without it. Tyler Betts is wild, and I expect nothing less, though. I expect nothing less. Shout out to Tyler Betts. YOLO. YOLO, homie.
Saw some things about Bo Nickel that maybe you saw in yourself, like that you didn't like about him, or what was the?
I just think I was doing that interview out of my ego still. It's I don't have any ill will with Bo Nickel. I wish him the best, and he's fighting one of the guys that I train with, Kyle Dawkins. I'm glad Kyle Dawkins got that opportunity. I think it was just more or less like I was so fragile that when Bo Nickel said he would beat me easy, it was like I couldn't let it go, and I had to tell him when I saw him in New York when Sean was fighting Michael Morales, like, yo, you say something, you got to say it to me. Look, I know I can fight, man. If anybody wants to find out, I'm not hard to find. That's just what it comes down to. So if you got something to say about me, come say it to my face. I'm still here. You know what I mean? Like, I'm in the UFC. If you want to get busy, I'm here. We can get sturdy, dog. So.
Shit, we can get sturdy, dog. I don't give a fuck. We can get sturdy. I don't give a fuck. Have we just unlocked a new character in Christian Joe Pyfer? Could this be the new menace of the UFC's middleweight division for a little bit here? Imagine if Christian Joe Pyfer goes on a crazy ass run, bro. Christian Joe Pyfer. We might have just unlocked a new character. And he's still saying things like he can get sturdy with Bo Nickel anytime, anywhere. Shit, now he got the calmness of God behind him. God calming him down, calming down his ego. Shit, he even accepted win and loss going into this one. That's what he's been talking about. And he says that makes it easier on him. But shit, Christian Joe Pyfer, new character unlocked. This could be the new menace of the middleweight division. We will have to find out. But if he goes and makes light work of Izzy, oh boy, get ready. Christian Joe Pyfer's here to stay. Shit, throw him up against DDP. If he makes easy work of Izzy, give him DDP. Feed him to DDP. Trust professional lucid dreamer here. Oh yeah, Tyler Betts. That's some straight lucid dreaming. That is some straight lucid dreaming. NyQuil and melatonin. I mean, if you take too much melatonin, you finna be lucid dreaming. The homies on the wrestling team in high school used to do that shit. While they're cutting weight, they talking about like overdosing on melatonin. I'm like, bro, you're tripping. Like, holy moly, just go to bed. How much Joe weighed? 185. He's a middleweight. Getting sturdy in 2026. I know, a little bit late. But shit, Joe Pyfer a bit older. He in his 30s. He says we can get sturdy. We can get sturdy. We can get sturdy, dog. I love it. In his Kevin James King of Queens outfit.
I definitely ain't running from anybody, and I'm not afraid of anybody in this division. I think they should be afraid of me because I have devastating power, and the only way you're going to take that away from me is if you catch me first. So I ain't got no ill will with him. I retract my statements on wanting to fight him. I'm above that, and if he works his way into the top 15, let's get busy. Let's go.
Joe, over
Shit, Bo Nickel versus Joe Pyfer is good money. That shit's some good money right there.
here. You've talked about your power. Is there any other area that you think you have a clearest advantage over Izzy?
100% my jiu-jitsu game, my wrestling game. 100% I'm the better jiu-jitsu player. 100% I'm the better wrestler. He's got good.
Sorry for pausing so much in the short period of time, but I do want to see. Now, I don't know because Joe hasn't really shown a lot of his grappling. He's been able to get big takedowns in fights, but he obviously comes from Sean Brady's camp, right? And those guys are primarily grapplers. You know, Joe Pyfer's the biggest hitter out of that gym. But, you know, he comes from a primarily grapple-heavy gym. You know, Jeremiah Wells too, Sean Brady, Andre Petrosky, these are all high-level grapplers. So I would like to see how that transitions, how that translates against Izzy, you know, a former world champion. A little bit far removed, he might be a little bit washed, but I would like to see how it translates. He not known for it, but I know he got it. He trains with good guys. So I want to point that out to you guys. When he did mention this, the first thing that went through my mind was like, you know, let's see, you know, show us that, you know, some of Sean Brady's BJJ has rubbed off. No Diddy, so to speak, right? BJJ has rubbed off just sounds super zesty. Bro, anybody who has Pyfer by sub is a fucking magician. Watch it happen. Watch Pyfer be the one to sub Izzy of all people. Like I said before, you know, Yoel couldn't even take down Izzy. Watch fucking Joe Pyfer be the one to do it. Christian Joe Pyfer. New character Joe Pyfer. He kind of looks like Billy the Kid from the 1800s. He got something going on with his outfit. He should lean into it. This little outfit that he got rocking right now, the beanie, the what do you call this? Plaid. The plaid button up, so to speak. I like it. Tyler Bet says, not TBH, I'm just trying to not be sick for the Seattle card I'm going to. For sure. How much you pay for those tickets, homie? And where are you sitting? Like, did you pay for nosebleeds or like where you sitting? Grunge Pyfer. Yeah, he kind of grunge. Here. We got 4 more minutes left, so let's finish this.
Good defense, but you never see him offensively wrestle. I'm sure he's got decent jiu-jitsu, but it's not my level. That doesn't mean that I'm going to be able to use it. It's obviously I got to be able to get the fight to the ground if I'm going to use it. But you know, it's really going to depend on what he's giving me, and if I'm able to make clean entries. You know, because he does have good defense. It's not like he was a world champion for no reason. I'm not saying I can just go out there, out grapple this dude, and do whatever I want to him. I have to earn those.
Wait, Tyler Bet says better kind of in the middle, a little closer up though. How much, homie? If you don't mind me asking, you know, how much? Because I'm curious. Whenever I want to go to UFC events, like I got to drop a minimum of 500. I don't really like that number, you know? I mean, I'd pay up to like 250 for a ticket, but like 500 is crazy. Drinks and food crazy, expensive at Climate Pledge Arena though, worse than the Mariners Stadium. Damn. I'm familiar with the baseball prices. Shit, you paying like $12 for a tall can of Pacifico. Yeah, let me know the price if you don't mind. I'd love to know how much it costs to sit like in the middle of a UFC Seattle fight night. The prices are so bad for 328. I did see some people speaking about that. The nosebleeds are crazy expensive. I want to know what it's like for the fight nights though. Because to be honest, whenever I say it costs $500 for nosebleeds where I'm at, those are for pay-per-views. I'd be interested to know.
Things I'm very aware, but I do believe that I am by far the better jiu-jitsu player if I'm able to get it there. So yeah, I have a lot of tools, man. I don't just rely on my power. The only reason I've said so much about my power is because that's what I'm here to do. I want to get knockouts, but at this level, the top of the top, I understand that's going to be a lot harder to get, and the margin for error is a lot less. It's a lot less. I can't be as sloppy as I've been in the other fights for this fight particularly.
I love it, bro. I really, I didn't even expect this. I told you guys I haven't seen this, but I'm loving this Joe Pyfer, man. From the outfit, finding God, new character unlocked. I'm actually loving this Joe Pyfer. Now he's saying what I've been telling you guys, right? I told you guys this, and Joe Pyfer, he don't even need me to tell him. Joe Pyfer saying, I've been knocking people out, and that's to get a lot of attention, right? I've been talking about it, but I got the grappling game on lock too. I got to be way more locked in, way less sloppy than I've been in the past for this Izzy fight. I ain't finna just rely on my hands anymore. In other words, I get Izzy in trouble with my hands, I'm subbing his ass. I'm not playing with this dude. I'm subbing his ass. I'm going for the submission. I'm going to grapple him. If I get busy with the hands and I happen to hurt him, I ain't playing with him. I ain't giving him time to recover. I'm getting him up out of there. I'm saving miles on my odometer, on my speedometer. All right. When it comes to the fight game, now that I'm at this upper echelon, I love it. I love to hear it. I really fuck with this new Joe Pyfer. And that right there is the picture perfect, bro. Mindset to have. Honestly, who the fuck got into Joe Pyfer's ear before this? This can't all be the work of his girl. Was it the Bible, bro? Was it the fucking Bible? I need to interview Joe Pyfer when this fight's over with. If Pyfer beats Izzy, bro, I need to interview him. And then Tyler Betts did say 1,000 for 2 tickets, so 500 each. And that's for the middle. So that's kind of chill, honestly. That's kind of chill. Middle is about 500 each. It's still kind of diabolical, though, bro. Diabolical. But shout out to Tyler Betts. He got that bread. Homie can afford the tickets. Shit, I could barely afford one, probably. Then I'm going to be stressing about my rent buying that damn ticket. So, shit, for me, I ain't finna do it. Unbroken says, I remember when a hot chocolate was $7 for a shitty envelope of Swiss Miss. I know, right? It's like all you did was fucking tear open that pack and pour the powder in hot water. Not right, charging me $7. Unbroken says, Tyler, you must be rolling in dough. He probably is. Tyler Beth says, Izzy a Navajo bout to win me my money back, though. Ooh, good shit. I want to see Navajo tested if he gets a dub this weekend. Nah, me and my girl got him for our birthday's first UFC card ever. Wanted to go bad last year. That's dope, homie. That's dope. Have fun there. I never been to a UFC card still. I've been to a Bellator. Been to a couple Bellators. Who's got the odds on favorite, Joe or Izzy? Tyler Betts says Izzy, very slight favorite right now. Oh, Tyler Betts did it through a firm. Pay over time. Good shit. Good shit. Plus 500 for food and $20 for the glory holes. Holy moly, the glory holes is crazy. Space Kid says, for real. Shout out Space Kid. Oh, Space Kid says, timing plays a part as well. I heard they go on sale like a day or so before the fight. Yeah, okay, so if you buy it last minute, you can get them a bit cheaper. They drop the prices just to sell out. Any Asian twinks on the card? Bet the house. Honestly, I don't think there's any Asian twinks on this card, which is surprising because Seattle got a big Asian population. Seattle got a massive Asian population. Tyler Betts, you got a lot of ABGs out there, don't you? Seattle got a big ABG population, if I'm not mistaken. Shout out Pike Place Market. All right, we got 3 minutes left in this, so let's continue. Let's wrap this one up. Also, I'll tell you guys right now, I'll take if anybody disagrees with me on these two takes. If you think the UFC doesn't suck this year, then you disagree with me. And if you think that Dana isn't lying about Islam Makhachev's hand injury, you can come on and you can debate me. You know, I'll debate somebody. If somebody wants to debate me, let me know. I'll send you the Discord link. We can do that before we hop off stream. Other than that, if nobody wants to take up the offer, I got something just random to share with you guys, a little context of a little behind the scenes business to share with you guys. It's just kind of interesting. So I just wanted to tell you guys about it. Nothing crazy by any means, but it's just interesting, I guess you could say. Oh, we got MMA Now in here. He wants to debate it. Okay, perfect. Give us 3 minutes, MMA Now, and then we'll get you in here.
And do you see this
3 minutes
fight as a breakthrough moment for your name, or just another fight?
It's just another fight, brother.
Okay. And what do you think the division looks like for you over the next year if you win this fight?
No clue. I truly don't know. If I win and I finish Izzy, I could jump to a title. I could jump to a number one contender. If I win a decision, I definitely will have one more. And then it might depend on that performance. If I lose, I still win.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
How much have you watched of Adesanya's title reign, and what mistakes did his former opponents make that you're going to try to avoid?
What mistakes have his opponents that he's beat made?
When he was champion?
I think you're trying to outkick a kickboxer. He's one of the best in the world at that. I mean, the guy was, 75-4, 75-5 in kickboxing. He fought the best of the best. He fought guys like Alex Pereira. He beat a guy like Alex Pereira. Like, you can't play his game, man. He's going to download info, and he's going to keep chipping. And, he's a chess player. He's making reads the whole time. He's a very intelligent man. He's more of an intelligent fighter than he is, like, anything athletically gifted. So, yeah, I think that's just they tried to play his game too much. And then when you saw guys like Jan Blachowicz who mixed it up, who could take, some damage, and then guys like Pereira that were bigger than he was at what he does. But, so I think they've made minor mistakes. And the guys that have had success, they don't give him that space. They don't give him that respect. And I'm not going to give him that respect when I'm in there. I obviously respect him, but, in the cage, I got to fight my fight.
And the 25 minutes against Jack Hermanson, is that something that you're using for valuable kind of experience in a main event here? Is that something I guess, the experience from that brings?
He's like, why'd you have to bring up Jack Hermanson? Come on now. Remember what Jack Hermanson did to this dude?
Into the Adesanya fight at all?
Nah, I was sick, bro. It's just what it is. You guys can believe me, don't believe me. I had the worst camp of my life. I trained 2 5-minute rounds for that fight. Didn't have a running program, didn't do anything right. Went out there, fought my ass off, lost, got hit in the eye, couldn't see. Then I just continued to eat jabs and take calf kicks and didn't do anything about it. Was too young for the moment. Had a lot of stuff wrong. Had a lot of congested things in my brain. It is what it is, bro. I lost. Life moves on. So, yeah, I've learned some things. I've matured. I've grown. And even from my recent fight, I was able to show, even though I didn't show up, I felt like crap. I still was able to dig deep when I didn't even have to dig that deep, but I was able to just refocus in between rounds and to come out and do what I was supposed to do, which was pressure, land the shot, put him down.
Well, good luck.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's send MMA Now the Discord link. Nothing really to say about the ending of that. Detect a new audio input. Don't switch. Do I join the voice? What do I do again? I think we join voice. Now let me invite to voice. Okay. Damn, the viewership just dropped off by half. What the fuck? Fuck you guys. Whoever left here, fuck you. As soon as the Pyfer thing ends, it drops off by half. That's insane, bro. I mean, now guy, he likes mayonnaise. Yeah, I mean, now you can join. Have Kevin from Chicago on as a mediator. Kevin from Chicago, are you in here? Space Kid says, dang, he lets all the excuses out at once. I thought he just gonna say he was sick. Joe Pyfer did. He let them all out at once. That was crazy. I was not expecting that. Space Kid, I was not expecting Joe Pyfer to let all those excuses out at once. That was kind of insane. That was kind of insane. But I was distracted because I got to lock in for MMA Now. While MMA Now is getting situated or whatever, joining, let me just go take a piss and I should be good to go. Yo, MMA Now is not even in here yet. So this guy said he's down to join and then doesn't join. Come on, bro. We're waiting on you. MMA Now, you in here? You want to come on and debate? You the one who dropped your name in the chat, bro. Don't get scary now. And you shouldn't have expected me to get scary. Probably went on Grinder. What is that? Is that a gay dude app? Probably. He probably did go on Grinder. What a puss. Yeah, what a puss, bro. His own audience doesn't agree with him. I would love to hear what he has to say about it. Literally, it's just me and voice right now. I dropped the link, so anybody want to join voice or what? What's Gooch? What a buyer seller. He's powering up. Is that what he's doing? I mean, I'll sit here for another 5 minutes. I'm not going to do this all day. I already started up the voice channel 4 minutes and 30 seconds ago. So, and then when homie gets in here, I'll give him 5 minutes if he's on some bullshit. I'll give him 10 minutes if he's, you know, really discussing some points. I'm more confident that Izzy going to style on Joe. Bro, I've been so backwards on MMA lately. Like, I don't even know what to think. Honestly, I'm like second guessing myself low key. Izzy's a slight favorite, so I don't know. Kevin's not in here, shocker. Yeah, where my boy Kevin at? Pump for Izzy's walkout. I wonder what he's gonna deliver. He gonna do some crunk for us. That's for damn sure. We already know that. Let's do a poll. Izzy or Joe? Who you guys got? Izzy or Joe? Everybody run up the likes on the stream right now. Run up the likes on the stream right now, boys. Homie got 3 more minutes. I told you guys I'm waiting until the 10-minute mark. If he doesn't join by the 10-minute mark, what do you want from me, bro? Can we join the talk on Discord? MMA now says 1 sec. All right, 1 sec. Buyer seller, you want to hop in? You can hop in while MMA now is getting situated. Click the link, homie. Hop in. Click the link, homie. Did somebody unlike the stream? Oh, it just went up 2. Okay, perfect. Bro, with his 1 seconds. You got less than 120 seconds left, homie. Why did my clock stop? Now it's like stuck at 8:19.
Gucci.
Buyer seller, are you Money Tree Exotics?
Let me pause the stream. Can't hear 2 voices at once.
What up, homie?
So,
What you on, homie? What you on?
is he gonna cry at the presser?
He could cry. He could definitely cry at the presser. If he loses, I mean, shit. Good chances he cries. Whether it's at the presser or the octagon, I don't know.
That's tough. I'm just talking shit. I think Izzy's pretty cool.
Nah, he's chill. I don't got much against him. I also don't love him that much, but he aight.
Hello?
Is this MMA now?
Yep. What's going on?
What's poppin', brother? So you want to run a debate?
Sure.
All right. I mean, I'll give you 5 to 10 minutes if you want to discuss why you think that the UFC is good in the Big 26, and if you can show your face, even better.
Yeah, 100% I can. Boom.
Here we go.
There we go.
Peak male physique.
What's up, my okay? Shout out to upstairs neighbor. Okay, so I mean, you know my opinion. So why you think that the UFC is good in 26?
I, I I don't think the UFC has been bad. I think that's the thing. I think there's been some not great fights. Overall, I think of a basis of we're covering fights, we're talking about fights, we want good fights. We've had some really good fights. We've had some really competitive fights. Of course, are they the big blockbuster fights? No. But I think the reason a lot of that is we're having a lot of fights. We're having fights damn near every weekend. I understand your argument of that aspect. Oh, they're not big names. They're not getting us the fights they wanted to. We have no idea in 2026 of this landscape. We're not in that business. We don't know if they're offering these fighters. Like Taporia recently came out and said they declined to fight Islam. I know your argument or your thing you had said earlier that Islam's hand injury is not real. I have no idea. People saying like Islam punching this punching bag or whatever, his hand injury is not real. I mean, that's not true. He has boxing gloves on. There's not 4-ounce gloves. He could easily be testing the hand to see how his hand's reacting. Again, we don't know.
I mean, his manager said that he would have taken the fight regardless, whether the hand was injured or not. So I mean, we don't even need to debate that anymore. He would have taken it whether it was injured or not, according to Ali.
Fair enough, but Ilya also said he declined because the money they offered him
not true
wasn't enough.
He asked for more money, and then the UFC, they said okay, we'll give you Justin.
Yeah,
they didn't even wait for a response from Islam. So Ilya did not turn it down. He called for Islam
because Dana said Islam's hand was injured. He's coming off of a hand injury.
Okay, but
That's what he said.
I know, but I just wish we could operate on a better basis. It's fine. I'm a chill out. But it's like, okay, so Dana's saying that, but Dana's lying about that, bro, because he doesn't want to admit that he didn't want to fork up the money for this fight to happen on UFC White House, and that's why. Hang on. And that's why that's why that the UFC is sucking in the Big 26. This is a perfect example.
Okay.
We are not getting Ilya versus Islam, not because of the hand injury, not because Ilya outpriced himself or denied it, but because they don't want to pay for it. You know, that's the big issue. That's not even talking about the fact that we don't get Sean O'Malley versus Corey Sandhagen on there. You know, the fact that it's not Pereira versus John Jones.
That guy is not great to me. I'm okay with Zahabi. We're going to get a better fight. I don't want to see Sean O'Malley defending takedowns. I don't want to see Sean O'Malley getting pity-patted by Corey Sandhagen, who I do think Sean O'Malley beats.
Wait, I'm sorry. You said you don't want to see Corey Sandhagen fight?
No.
Why?
When's the last exciting Corey Sandhagen fight that he won?
This weekend.
TJ, he lost.
Bro, you think that Ayman Zahabi is known for his excitement?
No, but he's a striker. I'm talking about we're going to get a striking matchup.
And what is Corey Sandhagen, a wrestler?
He has damn near no finishing ability. He's well-rounded, but his punches don't really – there's not an effect on Corey Sandhagen's punches. Not a big power guy. He's a valiant guy. Again, his most exciting fights are fights he's lost. TJ Dillashaw, Petr Yan. What's a good fight of Corey Sandhagen that he won? There's not one.
It's just that people think that the Sean O'Malley and Corey Sandhagen fight is an interesting fight for Sean O'Malley. You know, nobody's really interested in seeing Sean O'Malley against Ayman. The Song Yadong fight fell through. So, I mean, it's like people wanted to see the Sandhagen fight. That's what they're calling for. That's what the fans want to see. This is about the UFC sucking in the Big 26. The fans not getting the fights they want to see. Nobody's been asking for Ayman versus O'Malley. You know, people been asking for Sandhagen versus O'Malley. We could have even done O'Malley versus Umar. You know, not the puck don't got to stop at Sandhagen. You know, it could have been Umar, who also fought Figgy on that same card as O'Malley. But they didn't do that one either. You know, they went with Ayman, of all people. Not to mention, we got, you know, Michael Chandler versus Mauricio Ruffy. But, you know, we're getting into the weeds, I think, because I made a good point earlier. about this whole, you know, why the UFC sucks in the Big 26, because we didn't get the Ilya and Islam fight, and you blew past that to address the Sandhagen point.
We can talk about anything you want.
To address the Corey Sandhagen point, you blew right past it. So I don't want us to blow past it. I respond to your Sandhagen point.
I just went from one
but
point
I need
to another
you.
point. I still have points
So
on
the
Ilya.
okay, so the UFC sucks in the Big 26 because we're not getting Ilya versus Islam because the UFC doesn't want to pay money for these fights. We also,
I think, I will say this. I think the biggest issue on that White House card is it's so much money that they can't afford to pay those big fights. I do think we will get that fight. I just don't think with something like this, with the White House card, the short notice that they did do all of these fights. They all talked about how it was incredibly quick. They didn't know about it. I think that's the issue.
so in other words, they overspent on production.
Correct.
And we're not. So again, so how could that possibly be a form? But I know that you're making that as an excuse for them. But it's like, how can you admit? Hang on. How can you admit that they essentially blew all the money on production? You just agree with me on that. But then you're like, bro, that's an exact reason why we're not getting fights we want, and that's why the UFC low key sucking. They're making bad decisions like this.
Well, it's on the White House. They're having to build a whole thing. We can talk about if they should be doing this or not, whatever. That's what it is. But of course, that's going to cost a lot of money. Of course it is. Again, we will get Ilya versus Islam. That is a fight. Just because we didn't get it on this one big card doesn't mean we're never going to get it. We're not done. Islam's not retired. Ilya's not retired. We're still going to get this fight. Can people be disappointed? Yeah, that's fine. But it doesn't mean the UFC sucks because this fight did not happen. I don't know a lot of people that want to see Corey Sandhagen fight Sean O'Malley.
Okay, so let's name the top 3 cards of the year, right? The three number cards so far: Gaethje Pimblett, Volkanovski Lopez, and Max Holloway, Charles Oliveira.
Okay.
So these are, the first 2 fights aren't very good. The third one, I'm not going to say it wasn't a good fight, but at the same time, it didn't turn out to be a good fight.
Which one are you talking about? Max and Charles?
Max and Charles. And that's not even the big doc. It's more so the entirety of the card.
I thought the card was good. I thought Volkanovski Lopez wasn't great because Lopez didn't change his style from that first time. He didn't evolve enough. He also didn't do anything different from the first one. You can't fight Volk the same way you fought him the first time. Lopez didn't show up. Pimblett Gaethje was fun. I mean, that was
we shouldn't have had that Volk versus Lopez fight to begin with. It should have been Movsar or Lerone, and they didn't give that to us either. So I would love to hear what you have to say about that.
The only thing that I can think of is Movsar nor Lerone was going to accept it on that quick of a turnaround. And Lopez took the fight because it was a quick turnaround. That's the only thing I can think of. I don't know. If it came out and said the UFC offered Movsar,
everything is like for the UFC, these excuses.
My job right here, I'm not giving them any excuses. I'm saying that I do not know.
Like Lerone wasn't going to take the fight. Who said that, bro? Lerone would have happily taken the fight.
Lerone the fight.
No, they never offered it to him.
Then again, okay. Did they offer Movsar the fight? No. Okay. They should have offered them the fight.
But you just said that they don't want to take it because they don't want to turn around on a quick timeline.
No.
And it's like, what are you talking about?
Say they didn't. I said I do not know if they offered them and they didn't take it. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know what happened.
Bro, so okay, shit's getting so complicated. We didn't get the one. Yes, it is. So hang on. We didn't get Lerone versus Volkanovski. We didn't get Movsar versus Volkanovski. We got Volkanovski versus Lopez. And you're over here being like, the fight wasn't very good because Lopez didn't evolve. Bro, we didn't ever want that fight. That fight getting booked is a pure example of why the UFC sucks in the Big 26. Nobody asked for that fight, bro. Nobody wanted it. It's not. It doesn't matter how much Lopez performed, bro. It doesn't even matter about his performance. It's the fact that shit got booked in the first place, and you keep fucking talking, bro, while I'm trying to finish out my points. And it's like I'm not even doing that to you. I let you speak for like the first 2.5, 3 minutes, and then I chimed in. You know, I'm letting you
Okay.
get your points off, and you keep, even now as I'm doing this, you're still kind of talking, so it's getting frustrating. But like, you know, the chat's
There's no
not really
reason to be
fucking with it. They
frustrated.
say you want Volk versus Lopez 3. They say you're
I
not
don't want
keeping it at a
Volk
buck.
versus Lopez 3. I
You
didn't
know,
want it the second
they
time.
say
I
you're not
agree
keeping
with
it a buck. So
I don't even know. I don't know what that means, but okay.
that's what I'm just reading off the chat. They said you're not keeping it a buck. MMA Now is not keeping it
I don't
a
know what that
buck.
means.
Dropping the buck emojis. And
Again,
then
I don't know what that means.
so yeah, I mean,
Again, what I'm talking about fights. I don't work backstage. I don't get this backstage contract bullshit information. I have no idea what happens. Of course, Lerone or Movsar should have fought Volkanovski. Volkanovski asked to get back in there quickly, and so the only person apparently that was available to fight that quickly was Lopez.
you don't know what
Of
goes on
course,
behind the
I
scenes, so
agree.
you don't know that.
I was talking. I just said I don't know.
Coming
that.
from the master interrupter.
I just said that. I just said I don't know.
But then you just said something about Volkanovski wanting to return quickly and Movsar and Lerone not being on that same timeline. Like, where did you get that from? You just said you don't know anything that goes on behind the scenes, but you know
No,
that.
I did. I said if Volkanovski wanted to return, Lopez was there to
So
turn
was
around quick.
Lerone, brother.
I have no. Do we know if they offered Lerone the fight?
Yes, they did not offer Lerone the fight, and Lerone would have taken the
Okay,
fight
they
if they
should have
gave it
offered
to
the
him.
fight. I've already said this 2 times now. That
Okay, so boom, dub. That's a reason why the UFC sucks in Big 26. They didn't offer Lerone the fight. They gave it to Diego
does it
Lopez
suck that
instead,
they-
not the #1 contender who's coming off the knockout of the year in the Big 25.
There's a knockout of the year over a short notice guy. First fight in the UFC. How in the
Yes,
world is
knockout
that?
of the year,
How?
brother. Knockout of the
How?
year.
Knockout of the year. I
Stepped in on short notice against a guy on a full
Yeah, but it's
camp.
Aaron Pico. It's Aaron
Okay,
Pico. Aaron Pico. Come
bro.
on.
Oh my goodness
You're
gracious.
saying Lerone should have gotten a title shot all over
The
off of a win.
the
with Aaron Pico.
You mean the undefeated fighter in the UFC who replaced Movsar Evloev, who was the #1 contender at the time, who's also undefeated in the UFC against Aaron Pico? Yeah, because what was going to happen for Movsar if he beat Aaron Pico? He got to fight again too?
Yes.
I knew you were going to say that. I absolutely knew you were going to say it. And that's just
Yes.
clown shit, bro.
He should've.
You're making yourself look
If he
terrible.
didn't fight Pico,
Movsar
that's what-
Evloev,
if he
the
didn't
#1
fight
contender,
Pico-
got to fight again after he beats Aaron Pico. You're out
No,
of your
no, no,
fucking
no.
mind, brother.
No, no, no,
You're
no,
just
no.
being
I agree.
stubborn,
If
and your time is
Lerone-
almost up. So I'll give you a couple more minutes, but your time is, you know what?
Lerone,
Thank you, MMA Now, for your time today. I'll let you finish off that thought. I'll let you spit that out.
anyways, thank you. If
But 1 minute, go
Lerone-
ahead.
If Lerone wasn't, I think Lerone should have gotten after his Dan Ige win. I thought he should have gotten a title shot after the Edson Barboza fight.
But
I'm
not
not
after. But
saying
not
he
after he
should've
beats
never-
Aaron Pico, bro. You're. Oh my God. Sorry
It's
for
a
interrupting.
short notice fight. It's a short notice fight, dude. Also, fun debate. I have no issues. You're getting hostile over us talking about fights. It's fights. It's not that big deal. It's a fight. We're judging on cards. If the fight's delivered, the fight's delivered. We're cool. I don't. It's not this big fucking big legal matter. It doesn't fucking matter. We're talking about fights.
So what did you have to say about Lerone again? All that stuff you're saying just now doesn't really matter. You're saying I don't even know. We're talking about
You're getting
fights.
all hostile over fucking fights.
Well, because bro, you're so out of touch, and it's just like I would be careful with sharing your opinions with people because you're very out of touch, brother.
I will not. But okay.
You know, and
I
I don't
will
even
not.
know what you
You
had.
don't
You
work
had no
backstage.
rebuttal. Okay, so you're saying, so basically, if I could get this straight, you're saying that how do I put this? Okay, so you say Lerone Murphy, the undefeated UFC fighter who never lost until last weekend, should not have got a
Correct.
title shot off of beating Aaron Pico, but he should have got a title shot after he beat Danny Ige and after he beat Edson Barboza.
Yeah, I think
so
Danny
he
Ige
was.
is better
So in other
than
words, if he
think
should have got it,
Barboza is better
in
than
other
Pico.
words, brother. In other words, you know, Lerone Murphy was overdue. You know, Lerone Murphy was overdue for his title shot, according to this guy. But, you know, when he beat Aaron Pico, that somehow took him out of the running. But he was overdue. You know, he should have got it after he beat Danny Ige. He should have got it after he beat Edson Barbosa, but he shouldn't have got it after his last win. This dude makes no sense, and he keeps interrupting me, so we just had to hang up. I was going to end it nicely and tell him, you know, thanks for joining. Have a good day. But it's like, bro, you keep interrupting me. I can't even get my thought off. Like, holy moly. Shout out MMA Now, you know. It ain't no hostile, bro, but it's like, you know, I'm a passionate dude. And this is just how I come. You know, this is how I come. It's who I am. Do I not like MMA Now? No, I don't not like him. Okay, I got nothing against you. MMA Now, for the record, you seem like a decent dude. You know, I don't got nothing against you. You're just a little bit naive in the sport, and it's frustrating to talk to you a little bit. You know, but we could do part 2 soon. The chat's calling for part 2. We could do part 2 soon. Hopefully MMA Now can just not interrupt me next time, because that was very, you know, annoying, bro. But aside from that, no hard feelings, homie. You know, the chat liked it, MMA Now, so you can come back in the future. I gave you extra time. You know, it was a total of 15 minutes, not even 10. You know, I said if it wasn't good, I'll give you 5. So I gave you not 5, not 10, but 15. So shout out to MMA Now. It ain't nothing against you, homie. But it's just like, you know, let's grow from this. We could just grow from this, all right? We could just grow from this. Well, a 5 minutes debate is not enough. It was 15. It was 3 times that, MMA Now. And I want you to know, MMA Now, I would not have hung up the phone if you weren't interrupting me. I was not going to hang up the phone if you weren't interrupting me. And I was going to thank you for the conversation. So I'll do that for you now. You know, I appreciate the conversation, and I don't got nothing against you. I don't even dislike you. You feel me? And if you took any of my hostility as just that hostility, that's just how I am. It ain't nothing personal. All right? It ain't nothing personal. Not enough time we could talk like adults. Well, adults don't interrupt each other, brother. Adults do not interrupt each other. Especially after I asked you. So I'll have you on next time, brother. Don't even trip. Buyer Seller says, I'm still in chat if you want to run a 10-minute discussion. You can wait. Oh, let me join voice. All right, let's hear, homie. What'd you think about that debate? What'd you think about the debate? I'll give you 5 minutes and then I'll hop off here. It's almost midnight.
I was letting you guys talk. He was interrupting you a lot. I was trying to say some shit a little bit, or I was thinking like, there is no excuse for the White House card right now. So I was kind of like, come on, you can't try to fucking explain that the White House card isn't bullshit for sure. You can't debunk that.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's like, no, I didn't want to see Sandhagen versus O'Malley. It's like, oh my God, bro. These are the hard conversations to have.
That's O'Malley's hottest fight right besides Jan.
Yeah, it's like the one everybody's clamoring for. Like, who's the other guy that everybody wants to see O'Malley fight?
The dude he's fighting, I didn't even know him.
Yeah, as a hobby.
Until it got announced.
Ariel's twin.
Oh, that's crazy. Here's what I was going to say. It's like you pull a 10 out of 10 bad bitch and you're not going to fuck her raw. You're at the White House. You better fuck that bitch raw. Bring all the tricks up your fucking sleeves. Spend that $2 bills. Like, do what you got to do. And they're pulling up on the baddest bitch and they're wearing like the old Vans, the fucking stained white tee, fucking
crusty old white tee. It ain't even white no more. It's like kind of gray.
It's the one time, like, fuck the rest of the year. Just blow the White House out of the water. Obviously, you save Connor to sell out fat later, but you gotta pull out Jones or Connor or Diaz on this shit. Otherwise, low key, fuck the White House card. Honestly.
No, I know, I know. And you said Jones, Diaz, or who'd you say? Or Connor?
Connor.
And it's like, bro, we didn't get any of the big three. We didn't get any of the big three, and we didn't even get the big four, which is Islam and Ilya. You know, that's what's
true.
Crazy. We didn't even get the fourth option.
Not even the P for P.
Exactly, the pound for pound championship. And that would be like dropping the Brinks truck, quite literally. You know, the top 2 pound for pound dudes, the two division champions in the UFC right now. Like, it's a big L, bro, and we are pissed about it. And it's like, crazy. You know, I don't know how anybody could disagree with that, but it's fine. You know,
we've been waiting they had a whole year to figure this out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't give a fuck if they're like, oh, like that fool is trying to say it's expensive to set the scenery. Fuck that shit. Tell fucking Donald Trump to pay for that shit. I don't give a fuck. Like,
Well, it's like
it's the White House.
he
Run
just
this
buys
shit.
all the excuses for the UFC. It's like he recites what the UFC's excuses are, you know, and one of those is that, like, you know, oh, it costs so much to build this thing up. It's like, bro, we are not like
That's
on behalf of the UFC. We're on behalf of like the fighter, so to speak. Like, we don't give a fuck about how much the UFC has to spend on an event. That's part of doing business. Like, we're worried about the fights that we get to see. You know, the fan base isn't built off of, you know, admiring the venue. The fan base is built off
Yeah, what
delivering
the fuck?
fights to fans that they want to see. So him being like, oh, you know, the venue's expensive, bro. Of course they couldn't do it. It's like, bro, do we build the sport off the venue or the fights? The majority of the money should be going into the fights, not the fucking production. And if
They
you're gonna
could
put
be
it on the
running it-
production, then drop it everything on the fighters too. Like, you got to take that L, bro. That's your L for having to spend that much on the production. But the fighters, you know, dropping the bag on the fighters should be non-negotiable. You should do that every time for the fans.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I don't know. I want to see that fight card flyer, and I want to see fucking one of the big three or the pound for pounds face to face. Instead, we're gonna see Piera and fucking Gain and Sean. Sean was gonna have to co-main no matter what. Like, I'm not too disappointed. Disappointed at his opponent, but like the whole thing is like I don't know. It's like if you're pulling a bitch and she sends you pictures and she's hella hot and you get there and she's like fucking she's not hot.
No, I feel you.
Dana was like, it's gonna be the best card. Where the fuck's Diaz at then? He's at fucking MVP now getting a bag.
Because
And if that
the
that
MVP
should tell
out
everyone
negotiated
something.
them. Yeah, because MVP out negotiated them. That's another example of, like, bro, just open your pockets one time for the fans. Like, you're letting MVP out negotiate
time.
you.
for America, one time for the White House, like
Shit, for the
all
one time
eyes
for
on the
America,
UFC.
bro.
It's that one Eminem. You got one chance, one shot, one opportunity, and then you finna headline with Pierre and Gang, the eye poker.
Yeah.
You're gonna give the eye poker the main event?
That dirty fucking dog,
The
bro.
fuck?
Fuck that guy. He should be serving a suspension right now. But nah,
Pierre
somebody
better
else said
protect his shit.
somebody else, yeah, Pereira's gonna win that shit. I know it. Or not I know it, but I at least hope. Somebody else said that we didn't even get the Strickland fight. So that's another shit ass, you know, that's another thing we didn't get, right? Strickland versus
another
Hamzat.
L.
So it's like we didn't get the big five. There were 5 fights they could have made, didn't deliver one of them.
Side note, Hamzat never fucking fights. Strickland looks healthy after his last fight. Like, fuck that. Strickland's fight is more popular than Gain's fight.
Yeah, they were ready to
Like,
go. That could have been booked on there too, probably. But, you know, Hamzat, he kind of sketchy with the whole, you know, Kadyrov connection. So I don't know. Maybe that's the excuse. I would actually buy that
know what that
excuse.
is.
Kadyrov is like the terroristic leader in Chechnya.
So
That's his
he's gonna be
homeboy.
in danger.
Well,
That's his homeboy.
That's his homeboy. Like, when he went back to Chechnya, he had to give homeboy the belt. And then homeboy buys him like 4 G wagons. But basically that guy Kadyrov, he's kind of like an enemy to the US. So like maybe that's why they just steered clear of Hamzat.
He probably was like, Hamzat, you can't do this.
Yeah, it might have been a bit sketchy. But okay, I'll let you go on this one. I was just gonna tell you that I like the example you gave about you know, pulling up on a badass bitch basically, and you looking crusty as hell. You know, you in like slippers and shit. You in like flip flops or something like that, like with no socks on.
I didn't want to interrupt you guys, but that was like my analogy
No, that is the analogy, bro. You're pulling up on a badass bitch. You know, you already got the date. You know, she already said yes. She gave you the digit. She's been texting you all nice and sweet. She's been flirting with you. And you show up and you didn't even get a haircut. You didn't even shave your face. You know, you look raunchy.
You pull up looking like whoever you were just talking to. No, I'm just kidding.
It's like, shit, you a straight disappointment. You pulled up on her, a straight disappointment. And that's what UFC White House is to us, bro. You pulled up on us. You dropped this card on the, 327 card or whatever it was. And you pulled up on us as a straight disappointment. You know, you didn't cut your hair and shit. You looking crusty. We don't fuck with it.
Pretty much.
All right, brother. Well, hey, yeah, give me your final point.
You don't have to talk about this, but honestly, I'm more excited to watch Diaz and Perry than the White House. Honestly, it's like neck and neck, to be honest.
Yeah, I was speaking about that earlier. I was looking at the comparison, and I basically said that the problem with a lot of the fights on the White House card is that they're foregone conclusions. Even like Ilya versus Gaethje, which is the main event, we kind of expect a winner. So there's not excitement going into that fight. We're expecting Ilya to win. The thing about Pereira versus Gane that's fun is that we don't know who's going to win. And Diaz and Perry has that dynamic too. We can guess about who's going to win, but nobody really knows until the night of. And I'm still going to give White House the cake.
Diaz.
Yeah, I think Diaz is going to win. But I'm still going to give White House the cake. But I will say that, like, I'll give credit to Jake and MVP. They surprised me with that card. And it's pretty good and it's pretty competitive with UFC White House to the point where we actually have to, like, debate about it a little bit now. I thought there was going to be no debate.
True.
But we kind of are low-key. AD Kid says, yeah, I'm more interested in seeing the Diaz versus Perry fight. So some people are with you.
It's just the name for me. Like, I'll watch the whole fucking White House. Like, in terms of the duration of the pay-per-view, yeah, White House is better. But the Nate Diaz fight shits on every single fucking fight on that goddamn fucking card. Like, that's basically what I mean.
Yeah, yeah. And I think once we see them, because we keep seeing Nate in like boxing gloves, right? But I just kind of imagined it, like Nate in the MMA gear, Mike Perry in the MMA gear. It's going to be dope to see.
That's going to be fucking crazy.
It's going to be dope. Back in the MMA gloves. All right, brother. Well, hey, thanks for calling in. I'll see you in the chat, and then we'll do more of these calls in the future.
All right.
All right. Peace out, doggy. Hey, so shout out to the chat, boys. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to MMA Now. Shout out to all the boys who be fucking with me on the daily. All right. Showing some love to you boys, too. Shout out to Tyler Betts, too, for kind of making that all happen. I know Tyler Betts was the one who suggested the debate and all that. So, my man, shout out to you, homie. Let me shout out the streets, and then we will get out of here. But Space Kid says it's crazy. Dana would rather gamble the money and blue ball his fans. True. True. Shit, we had 943 views on the evening. We just need to break 1,000. So maybe I'll be live for a few more minutes. W Stream says Andrew Wave. W Stream says Tyler Betts. Shit, yeah, thank you. I think it was a W Stream as well, if I'm being honest. If I could say that myself. And I'm like riding a high right now after having those two conversations. I picked up energy off of, I think it was Buyer Seller and MMA Now. W Stream. Shout out to all you boys. Hey, if you are new to the stream, subscribe. All right, subscribe if you're not subscribed. And run up the likes on the stream because shit, the ending of the stream was for you boys. I'm a man of the people. So we were debating. We were chopping it up with a loyal chat member. Shout out Buyer Seller for dropping in. And I'm kind of just shooting the shit for a little bit. Yeah, surprise, no stomping from upstairs neighbor. I actually want to be nice, because I always be saying, you be treating me like shit. You stomping and shit, and I'm being nice. So right now I want to be nice. I'm actually going to whisper for the remainder. Shout out to Dundaughter. And shout out to the neighbor. To be honest, I've been getting these text messages. You guys want to know who it's from? I bet you it might be from her. Oh, no, it's from my step family. Okay, just some family stuff. Yeah, so she didn't stomp. She didn't text me. Shout out to her. Shout out to her. No, that's a dub from the upstairs neighbor. Everybody drop some dubs in the chat for the upstairs neighbor. Like I said, I'm not even trying to beef. She's the one beefing with me. Space Kid says, bro, my boss just walked in on me in the restroom trying to watch the stream. LMAO. Dang. Shout out to Space Kid. This must have been must-see TV. Space Kid could not miss the segment. Space Kid could not miss the debate and the chat stream segment. Shout out to Kid for getting in trouble at work, homie. You a real one. You guys all real ones. Everybody who in here right now, you real ones. Dunn Daughter says, surprise. No. Oh, yeah, I read that one. Buyer seller saying W. I'll hop in Discord, chat again sometime. I didn't even prepare my points. Yeah, let's run it up, buyer seller. Anytime, homie. Well, not anytime, but whenever we're doing it, hop on in. And shout out to you, buyer seller, for asking to come in and having the courage to do so. Shout out to you for that. W stream though, shout out Space Kid, my man. W from Tony Sal, shout out Tony Sal. 9 + 4 + 3 = 16. 1 + 6 = 7. Unbroken, what the fuck you on, homie? She's probably with Kevin from Chicago. Damn, that's where Kevin from Chicago went. Where the fuck Kevin from Chicago been? Imagine all the boys on the replay who they're not even gonna expect that I did debate tonight. All the boys who catch the replay, they're not even gonna expect that I did a debate tonight. They're not even gonna expect it. Oh, this is what I was going to tell you guys. Hey, so I had to do my taxes today. This is that random shit I was going to tell you. So I had to do my taxes, and I just wanted to tell you guys real quick, like, what the write-offs are to kind of be like a MMA YouTuber, right? And like what it costs you annually just to run the business. So hear this out. I think you guys would be interested in this. So yeah, my mom's filing my taxes for me right now. So I had to send her all the write-offs for what I'm, so I can deduct my expenses. And to be honest with you guys, my expenses is worth more than what I made last year. But here's how my expenses go. Adobe subscription, $69.99 for 12 months is $839.88 a year. So, the Adobe subscription already basically $1,000, $839. And then the Netflix subscription, I did it, I pay $18 a month, and that's per year as well, because there are multiple events on Netflix this year, right? So I just got the full, monthly membership. That costs $215.88. And then Paramount Plus annual subscription was $89.99. So, I mean, that is more for the 26, but I'm kind of like double dipping on that one. Low-key kind of double dipping on that one. Shout out to Moms. Yeah, Space Kid says, what we do without Moms. Moms was hassling me for weeks. Moms was hassling me for weeks to get me these write-offs, and I finally got them for her. But Moms was hassling me for weeks. I was stressing her out. She's like, please send them. I'm like, all right, I got you finally. I'll send them now. Shout out to Moms. Gotta love y'all moms out there. Facts. So my mom's doing this right now, but I was saying the Paramount Plus is $89.99. That is more. That's for the whole year, by the way. So $90 for the whole year. That's kind of double dipping because that was more so in 2026, but I just put that on my write-offs for this year. And then my internet bill was $104.99 a month. So that's $1,259 a year, bro. So we talking between Adobe, Netflix, and my internet, $2,000 in. Adobe, Netflix, and my internet, $2,000 in. We're not even talking about ESPN Plus yet. All right. But I also use a Dropbox storage because there's a lot of storage you need, and you got to send it from your phone to your computer, and emailing it isn't efficient. So I got Dropbox storage. I pay $12.99 a month for that. That's $155.88 a year. $155.88. I'm gonna give you guys the full total at the end. Do you have an LLC set up? No, it's a sole proprietorship right now, Dunn Daughter. I need to do LLC. I need to talk to like somebody who specializes in business formation. I actually used to work for a YouTuber. I used to work on a business formation YouTube channel before I did this. You could find videos of me online. I won't tell you where yet, but there are videos of me online, and they're pretty viral. I actually did a tax video for that YouTube channel. Anyway, that's a side note. Yeah, internet's $100. I just called them and they brought it down to like $69. But I paid $105 all year, not including the late fees. So anyway, Dropbox is $155.88 a year. ESPN Plus subscription was $12.99 a year. That's been canceled, but that's also $155.88 a year. So same as the Dropbox. Then X Premium, X Premium was $11 a month. You guys, a lot of people probably don't even consider, oh yeah, X Premium something you got to pay. So X Premium, $11 a month. That was 132 total for the year. Then, then my Zoom subscription, $16.99 a month times 12. That's for the interviews. You got to have the subscription if you want to do long interviews, or else you're only limited to like 45 minutes. So that was $203.88 for the whole year. And then lastly, this one costs a lot, and I streamed a lot of them, but shit, this is going to be a write-off. UFC events, $79.99 times 12, $959.88 total deduction. And then that's not even including the write-off for the portion of my rent that I could write off for using my house as an office space. And then I can also write off my cell phone bill as well, because I use that to post on social media. So, that's not even including those. My mom has those bills. So like she can see, or, I pay my rent, so to speak, but my mom, like, she knows more about it than I do. In fact, sometimes I just send her the money. But then on the last thing is a total deduction, right? So the total deduction with all those things, minus the rent, minus the cell phone, is $4,000. $4,013.15. So to run an MMA YouTube channel, you are shelling out $4,013.15 every year. You feel me? $4,013.15 every year. Crazy. And again, that's not including, part of my write-offs will also be part of my rent that I use because I use this house for office space, and then the cell phone bill. So if you add those into, your deductions, it could cost, because if I didn't have a house, right, I need an office somewhere. So, the house definitely is part of how much it costs to run an MMA YouTube channel. And then, this microphone and shit, this ain't including the microphone, this little holder, the camera, the laptop, all this stuff costs money. The Canon camera, the lights, right? I got lights behind me. So it's a whole thing. I got a different computer monitor, hard drives and shit. There's a lot to it. So, I'll say, thank you to everybody who watches every day and supports. It definitely helps out, and it's much appreciated, because this shit do be costing money. So you boys are helping me out big time with all your support. So thank you. This year, we are for sure trending to actually profit. I'll tell you guys the truth. Last year, we definitely were in the negative. I did not make 4,000 off YouTube last year, but shit, we definitely finna profit this year. We definitely finna make over 4K off YouTube this year. So once again, I want to say thank you to you guys for all the support. Definitely, you guys are helping me get there. So thank you once again. Chainfire Mech Warrior says, yeah, man, I respect the hustle. Yeah, and something I tell myself, because it's easy to get hung up on that, right? But even Dana White, he lost millions before the UFC was successful. So it's cool, it's a cost of doing business. Most businesses are, negative before they turn profits, right? So this is the normal cost of business. I ain't stressing about it. It's part of the game. Yeah, Unbroken says you can write off 1/3 of the rent. That's why my mom's doing that, because she's gonna like research. My rent's like above 2K, but I think my mom even said she already measured out my office space. So I don't know, she's gonna do the thing for me. She's gonna calculate it. Space Kid says those subscriptions add up. Facts, bro. 4K. Can you guys believe that? 4 fucking K. I'm so crazy. I never even added up those expenses till now. And some attire. Yeah, so that's also includes clothes and stuff. I didn't write off the clothes, but Space Kid says the office plus mic and everything def looks more professional, so you can call it an investment. Yeah, for sure. All this stuff is investment. Which Canon you got? Canon with its cripple hammer. I got the Canon EOS M50. Got a Canon EOS M50. And I got the Logitech Pro 1090p HD webcam. Like the stream, y'all. Yeah, everybody like the stream. Run it up. Space Kid says, who else remember the mic upgrade? Who was the one that helped him buy it? I forgot. Yeah, shout out for the mic upgrade, you know? And that was Tuxedo Mask. And he's still donating to this day. So, Tuxedo, we appreciate you, homie. I appreciate you, homie. You definitely help out the channel a lot. You definitely allow me to go live every day for all you boys, you know? So, shout out Tuxedo once again. And for Space Kid, you know, for knowing the lore, bro. Shout out to Space Kid for knowing the lore. I know a lot of you guys know the lore, but Space Kid put it in the chat. It was Tuxedo Mask. So that's why, you know, Tuxedo, we always got to show Tuxedo love, even if he get a little bit crazy, which he doesn't really. But even if he were to get a little bit crazy, because he was saying the other day that he kind of crazy. Even if he were to get a little bit crazy, we love Tuxedo. He supports the channel big time. You know, he's a big time supporter. We really appreciate it. And Andrew Nance too, you know, Tony Sal, these are some big supporters of the channel. You know, these are some big financial supporters of the channel. Franklin, you know, Franklin, a big supporter of the channel. HT has also, you know, supported big time in the past. So all these people, you know, thank you guys. Then Dana started bitch slapping, haha. The M50 with the 22 millimeter. I got a new lens. I could tell you the lens. It's a Sigma 15 millimeter unbroken. I mean, I got you guys. You in the chat shit, I'll give you guys all the secrets. If you want to run the same setup as me, because I think you guys know my Canon camera quality is pretty good, but with the stock lens, it wasn't that good. I had to get a better lens for it. So this is like a, you know, not aftermarket, but like this is a lens that's not even made by Canon. It's called Sigma. So if you want to run the same setup as me, you get the Canon EOS M50, and then you get the Sigma 15 millimeter lens. All right. And then you can run some good shit. M50 has no flip screen. How you see yourself. It does have a flip screen. Unbroken. It does have a flip screen, but it's off to the right side. It's not above the camera. I prefer the flip screen to be like slide up, like how Sony does it, because when it slides up and you're looking up, it's not like you're looking to the right of the camera. But Canon, it does have the flip screen, so you can film selfie style and still see it, but it comes over on this side. So if you're looking at the lens, you can't. If you check yourself in the screen, you're looking off the lens. That's why the Sonys are premier, because the screen comes up above the lens, so you can kind of like peep it in the peripheral. Space Kid says, you really have a stable community. The people in here now has been in here forever. No, that's facts, Space Kid. That's facts. That's super facts. And everybody pretty much has stayed, you know? I don't think we lost anybody from the community, which is also pretty wild. The retention is good. I do think that even if it's like 30 people in here at times, I think that we got probably one of the strongest communities. That's just like a gut feeling that I have. I don't know that the other MMA streamers, that they got real supporters, you know, that are in like the ones that are in this channel. You know, they might have people watching them and tuning in every day, but you know, I would even go pound for pound. Like I'll take my 30 loyal viewers every single day against, like, you know, anybody else's like 100 loyal viewers. Like I swear to God, you know, the 30 we got are locked in. So I'm riding with you boys. And yes, the community is very stable, which I love. All right, last chat of the day, and then we'll dip on out of here. Sigma lens is better, or scoop up the 22 millimeter for 100. M mount is discontinued but very adaptable. Okay. Scoop up the 22 millimeter for 100. I feel you. Rather have 30 real. Exactly, Space Kid. Exactly. It's a bit of a difference. I think I'm growing a bit of a different community, you know, but figures. I'm a bit different than everybody else, right? So it figures. Sigma putting in money for rice pads in Japan, no profits just because. Shout out to Unbroken. Unbroken knows about everything. I could speak about anything, and Unbroken's gonna have some type of knowledge about it. I love it. Okay, last chat of the day. Yeah, Space Kid says real ones than 30K fake. Exactly, bro. Exactly. Pound for pound, I'll take this chat over anybody. Pound for pound. Sigma CEO is legit. Okay, good to know. So you co-signed the lens. Perfect. All right, boys. Hey, I'm not going to shout out the streets tonight just because it's 12:20 and I'm trying to be nice to the lady upstairs. I actually feel bad for sticking on this long. So let me just say shout out to the streets, boys. Shout out to the streets. Everybody in here, you know who you are. Everybody watching right now, I'm saying your name. All right, shout out to the streets. Well, actually, everybody who commented in the chat, I'm saying your name. If you didn't comment in the chat, you need to comment to get your name read out at the end of the streams. So I'm shouting out everybody who commented in the chat today. Shout out the streets. Shout out the fucking streets. I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right. We 30 days into the 90-day live stream streak. We got 60 more to go. We ain't slowing up one bit. We ain't even sniffing it. We don't even know what burnout is. All right, boys. Peace out. Thank you again, and I will see you all tomorrow.